2 of the high school football season for the OHSAA here in Butler County, and it brings us to Kumler Field, where the SWAC season begins. Conference schedule with the Mount Healthy Owls and the Edgewood Cougars. Good evening, sports fans. I'm Joel Sackenheim, pleased to have you with us, and alongside my good buddy, Dr. Dan Vogt.
Hello, Joel. How's it going?
I'm good, sir. And before we get into this game here, we're going to have, it looks like the national anthem. The band is on the field. I think Stanford and Cal game once said that, right? The band is on the field?
The band is on. All right.
Here we go.
National anthem.
That's the Edgewood Cougars marching band with the Star-Spangled Banner as we're getting ready to kick off here soon at Kumler Field. We're going to have a second band piece, it looks like. What are they playing here, Dan?
I think it's their alma mater.
I think it's the Edgewood alma mater, indeed. All right, so we'll kind of keep it quiet to a Jim Nance golf style as they're playing the alma mater here. Hello, friends, indeed. The azaleas are in bloom. The wind is out atop Kumler Field tonight.
Yes, but there's no grass out there. No bunkers. It's just sports turf and rubber beads.
Indeed, indeed. All right, Edgewood Cougars were 2-8 last year.
Yes.
8-2 the year before. So big drop-off last year. That means they're probably pretty young and trying to recap. What's Edgewood looking like this year after week 1?
Well, I would say right now Edgewood is pretty much a run-oriented ball club. Last week, I believe I was told they were 3 out of 6. Not a lot of passing.
Not a lot of passing.
And they were steamrolled pretty badly by Winton Woods. Now, that game was just made up on the fly there. Joel, tell us how that happened.
Yeah, so Edgewood and Fenwick were supposed to play each other for week 1 last week as the Edgewood band leaves the field here, and both teams are in their locker rooms getting ready to roll here. So Fenwick was supposed to play Edgewood, and according to Rick Casano, who we ran into in the press box up at Talawanda, he said one student, not even a member of the football team, ended up contracting COVID, testing positive for it at least, and Fenwick decided that discretion was the better part of valor there, so they pulled the plug on the game. Right around the same time, the Kings Knights had some sort of COVID situation that they were supposed to play Winton Woods in week 1 in an ECC conference game that left both opponents with nobody to play. And so they got a hold of each other less than 24 hours before game time, and Winton Woods came up here to Kumler and played.
Imagine that, you know. You get into your senior year, you're pumped up for a good game, and then there you go. It's pulled out from under you, and you play a team you've never prepared for. I mean, it's almost like my wife Tammy preparing for a fantasy football draft.
Who's she going to take, Dan?
She would probably take the best-looking tight end.
Whoever that is, right?
Whoever that is, exactly.
Yeah, so in an Edgewood's case, Winton Woods' case, that might have been the third opponent they would have been originally scheduled to play. I'm sure Fenwick was not originally Edgewood's week 1 opponent when they flipped from a 10-game schedule to a 6-game schedule. Whoever they had scheduled, then Fenwick, and then Winton Woods.
This is a season, unfortunately, we're going to look back on 20 years from now and say, remember that COVID-19 season? That was just quite an unusual season.
They should have called it COVID-20. It'd be easier to keep track of. Everyone's going to call it the COVID-19 season, but it's the 2020 season.
That's true. That's true.
So, yeah, Scott Clemens is trying to rebuild his Edgewood program. He's got a new quarterback at the helm, number 10, Eli Jones. And I believe, looking at his stats, I think he went actually 2 for 11 against Winton Woods.
Okay, thanks for
It was not a lot.
Up.
You had Mount Healthy's guy in your brain. He was about 3 for 7 or whatever, about 50% passing.
Right.
So Eli Jones is going to start at quarterback tonight. He's the junior. Anthony Scott, who was the starting quarterback last year, number 32, he's a senior. He's actually been moved from quarterback to tailback.
And giving him the number 32, that would make a lot of sense.
That would make a lot of sense. A lot of famous number 32 tailbacks, Dan.
Oh, yeah, Jim Brown, O.J. Simpson, on and on and on.
I'll take famous tailback number 32s for 500, Alex.
Not many quarterbacks with number 32.
That's right, not a lot at all. Now, with Mount Healthy,
yes,
Arvie Crouch, colorful guy. He was so into it. We tried to talk to him before the game started. He never did get time with us. He's getting his stretches organized and his drills done with all his boys, and we understand that. I mean, as a coach, your mind is not on the radio station or the media. Your mind during the game is on your players there. But talk about Mount Healthy and what they did with Edgewood last year and what they're hoping to do this year.
Yeah, well, Edgewood has got to have revenge on their minds because last year Mount Healthy stuck it to them pretty well. They defeated them 41-21. So it was pretty much a run-dominated game also at that point. But Edgewood had a gentleman, and I'm trying to think of his – or Mount Healthy 25 – yeah, Aaron Hodge. He ran back a kickoff for 80 yards, and he had a 75-yard run, and he is playing tonight. So I'm sure Aaron Hodge of Mount Healthy is a man that Edgewood needs to keep in check tonight. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Aaron Hodge, and that game last year, 41-21, as you say. I looked at that box score. What a wild game. There were 6 touchdowns in that game that were longer than 40 yards.
Yeah.
So it was big plays waiting to happen all over the field, and it's definitely very run-centric.
Yeah, well, I hope we have some of those big plays tonight. That'll be fun to call, that's for sure.
No doubt. Mount Healthy, they lost 14-7 to Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Very solid Division IV equivalent-sized football school over there right across the border in Indiana. Mount Healthy has only 2 home games on their schedule this year. They've got 5 road games scheduled.
I mean, that should get some coaches' points thrown their way when we come up and vote for seedings later in the playoffs.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they need to say, hey, look at this. We played all these games on the road. Now, how fair is that?
Well, you notice if you're doing the math, those of you that are listening at home doing the math saying, wait a minute, 2 home games and 5 road games, isn't that 7? The high school rules in Ohio this year, you have a 6-game regular season. You start your playoffs in week 7. You are allowed to schedule additional games all the way through, I believe, the second weekend of November.
Wow.
And so Mount Healthy has gone ahead and preemptively scheduled a road game at Frankfort, Kentucky, I believe it is.
Wow.
For October the 30th, which would be normally week 10 of our high school football season. It would be the 4th round of the playoffs. Just in case, or the 3rd round of the playoffs, just in case they don't make it that far. And obviously, if they're still in the playoffs at that point in time, that game against the Kentucky school will get rescheduled or canceled or whatever. Everything is up in flux,
All
as
right.
you know.
And here comes the Edgewood Cougars onto the field. And just to give you a visual here, a little uniform report. Edgewood is in their dark shirts, kind of like a Chicago Bears, like a real dark blue.
Very dark blue, yeah.
Yeah, numbers on the side, on the left side as you go from, I would say, from right to left. Kind of the font of an Alabama helmet. And on the opposite side, they got the big E for Edgewood.
Big E.
E. Big E, Elvin Hayes.
And then Mount Healthy over there on the other side, they got their white jerseys.
Yeah, they got the white. They're wearing the black pants. Nice uniform design. They got a red helmet, and on one side of the helmet they have MH superimposed over a block O for you Buckeye fans. You know the block O there in the middle. And that is superimposed over the entire outline of the state of Ohio.
How about that?
Very cool.
And then on the other side of the helmet you've got
I would say it looks more like a Philadelphia Eagles wing, and they are the Owls or the Fighting Owls. We haven't determined if you know which they'd rather be called.
How much do they fight? We'll find out tonight. Dan,
yes, we will.
We're going to have to break for commercial here right before we take the field. So we'll be right back in about 30 seconds or so from Kumler Field. It's the Edgewood Cougars and the Mount Healthy Owls coming up next on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
We're back here at Kumler Field, and it looks like Hector Sanchez, he's number 84 in our rosters, but he's 86 out there in the field, ready to kick things off for the Mount Healthy Owls, and it is returned by number 32. That would be Anthony Scott, the before-mentioned guy in the pregame show for the Cougars. He is out past the 35-yard line, and Edgewood is going to start with the ball at their own 37, 1st and 10, Cougars.
Tackle by Christian Jackson on that play for Mount Healthy's defense.
All right, so the Cougars come out. If you're trying to visualize this, they are going from right to left across your computer screen. And we're going to expect a lot of running from Edgewood today, Dan.
Yes. They're starting out at the 38-yard line, just so you know where they're at. Yeah, a lot of running. They definitely have a big offensive line as I look out.
These guys are beefy.
77 there. I'll get you his height and weight. That's Edgewood's got to be their left tackle.
It's James Deaton. He's 6'5" and 260.
260, a junior, so he's got room to grow for next year.
And we already have a timeout on the field for the referee. And I don't know what we're waiting on. We got a substitution coming in for Mount Healthy. I guess somebody must have had a uniform not quite on right. So number 28, Savion Cannon, comes in at linebacker for Mount Healthy. We got 2 running backs, double tight end, 1 wide receiver at the bottom of the formation, the left side of the formation. Here's the snap, and it is a handoff to the fullback up the middle. Fullback is Tavion Crosby there. The PA announcer actually got that one wrong. He called that
Anthony Scott,
but that is not Scott. That was a fake to Scott. And, Dan, this is going to be our game tonight for Edgewood's offense, is trying to figure out the shell game of who has the football.
Absolutely. The beanbag was advanced 1 yard, so it's 2nd and 9.
And once again, for those of you just tuning in for the first time this year, the centers are actually handling the football. The referees are not handling the football at all. We've got 2 wide backs here, nobody right behind the quarterback. Swinging is Scott, and Scott is going off tackle from right to left, and he gets about 2 or 3 yards there before he's stopped by Irel Casey.
And Jahir
Frierson for the Owls. So, Dan, 3rd down and 6 here, knowing what you know about Edgewood, and we'll be figuring them out, of course, as the night goes along. What do you think? Pass, run?
I'm going to go play action fake and maybe a throw to the tight end here. We'll see what we got here. That's just my guess.
Okay. Yeah, Edgewood's similar to Talawanda. We don't have the flat power T here. It's more of a flex bone formation. Fullback behind him, and that is Tavion Crosby. In motion, and a man jumps off sides for Mount Healthy. Devontae Ross flinched there. Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. That's going to advance the ball 5 yards and make it 3rd and 1. That's going to put Edgewood in a much friendlier down and distance.
Oh, yes. It's actually about 3rd and a half from here, so I definitely see a run coming up.
The question then becomes, who does it go to? You've got the fullback, Tavion Crosby, and, of course, Anthony Scott is there. They're a wide back they like to get the ball to out wide, so we'll see. Probably a straight fullback dive here.
Absolutely.
Ball snapped. They send 28 around instead. 28 is Jay Daly, and he's not going to make it, Dan.
No, he's not. Nice play on the defense there.
Mount Healthy came crashing hard there. The ball was not given to the fullback. It is going to be a 3 and out. RV Crouch's defense holds. Edgewood gets to the 45-yard line, but no further. And Anthony Scott is also, above all things, the quarterback last year, the tailback this year. He's the punter as well, Dan.
Yes, Sean Harkness of Mount Healthy on the tackle. Now, he had 11 tackles last week. He's a leading tackler in the SWAC.
What's his number, Dan?
He is number 8.
Number 8. That's a guy we're going to have to keep an eye on tonight, I think.
Oh, yes.
Sean Harkness.
Probably their best player from what I hear.
So Scott's back to punt. We got 2 Owls back there deep to receive. The ball is off. It's got pretty decent hang time going to about the 25-yard line, lands and bounces backwards, takes a Mount Healthy bounce before Edgewood covers it up. That would be Hunter Gage down there making the down for the Cougars. And so Mount Healthy is going to take over 1st and 10 at their own. Yeah, is that the 35-yard line or the 36? I'm looking for a football. I should be looking for a beanbag.
And the beanbag is on the 36. At least it's a bright red beanbag.
You can see it.
Yeah. It was only about a 27-yard punt there. I think they were trying to kick away from the coverage. They got burnt last year, and I thought the short punt was an effective play there.
Well, I'm sure they would have loved the bounce to go the other way.
That was
I think
the problem.
they lost about 10 yards of field position on that bounce and roll. It
Yes.
had a little backspin to it. Had it gone the other way, they'd have had Mount Healthy deep inside their own territory. Instead, it's at the 36-yard line. We got a shotgun formation for the quarterback, Nadavion Gaither. He's got a running back right next to him for Mount Healthy, a couple receivers down at the bottom of your internet screen as I hand off right up the middle.
Isaiah Daniels.
Yes, Isaiah Daniels is the running back, and he's got about 10 yards, maybe 11. It is going to be enough for a first down and move the chains for the Owls.
He's got pretty good size, 5'9", 220. He kind of looks like the top of Emmitt Smith and the big, thick legs of, I can't think of it.
Maybe a Jerome Bettis or somebody like that?
Not quite Jerome
Not
Bettis,
that thick.
but pretty thick. Stocky from the waist down.
4 wide receivers, no tight ends out here. Handoff again to Daniels up the middle.
Running hard.
Sheds a couple tackles. I thought he was not going to get anything there. He's going to end up with about 5 yards, Dan.
Oh, that's impressive. He got his helmet knocked off on the play. He's fine, though.
Referees are stopping the clock.
Now, in high school, if your helmet comes off, do you have to be out of for one play?
I believe you have to be out for a play,
Well,
and that's
ran
indeed
off
the
the
case.
field.
Hector Sanchez comes in for the Owls. Actually, I'm gonna guess that 84 and 86 are flipped because Sanchez is supposed to be the kicker.
Okay.
And 86 kicked off, so I'm going to go with Javier Etheridge, and I hope I'm right on that.
They're just changing uniforms to mess with your head tonight.
Of course they are. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. Handoff up the middle again. This time to number 2, Irel Casey, and he pounds for about 4 yards. And for whatever reason, the referees are asking them to stop the clock, and I don't know why. Now they're realizing that's not enough for a first down. Clock needs to continue running. 3rd and 1 now for the Fighting Owls.
3-yard gain, and the tackle was Bradley Gunther. He's a senior linebacker.
Edgewood, well, it's going to be interesting to see how they defend this here. They got 4 down linemen. Obviously, when you have 4 wide receivers on the field, you kind of spread out a little bit defensively, but you know they want to run it. They've not thrown it yet.
I like the formation where you spread them and you run it up the middle. It's a 3rd and 1 here.
This is a flex bone, really tight formation here. Quarterback's under center. They shift to the eye, hand it straight up the middle.
Play.
Classic eye, and he pops outside. Trey Cornist, he's loose, and he's got a chance all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Healthy, Trey Cornist.
44 yards on the play. He broke a couple tackles, turned on the Jets, and he was gone.
That was the first time we've seen Mount Healthy go under center. I'm sure Edgewood's defense wasn't quite ready for that. They had 2 widebacks and a fullback behind the quarterback. They shifted Trey Cornish right behind the fullback to shift it into the I formation and ran off tackle left, and he barely got touched. Very good blocking there. Good lead back for the fullback there, and Mount Healthy is on the board first.
All right.
We got coaches up here next to us talking about calling a timeout. Actually, Arby Crouch is up here with us, believe it or not. So we have a timeout, Mount Healthy. It is 6-0, and we'll get the extra point ready here after these messages.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
We're back here at Kumler Field. Mount Healthy has a 6-0 lead, extra point pending. And Dan, you and I just noticed something as they're getting ready for the extra point here. Arvie Crouch, the head coach of Mount Healthy, is not on the sidelines. He's up here next to us.
Yeah, we're on top of the press box. He's got a great view like we do. They're setting up for the extra point here, conventional extra point.
Hector Sanchez, number 86, even though he's 84 on our rosters. Snap, kick up, and it is going to be down the middle and good. And so with 7:36 remaining in the first quarter of play, it's the Fighting Owls 7, the Edgewood Cougars nothing. We're going to keep it right here. I noticed before the game, Dan, and we were trying to get a hold of Arvie, and he was very busy. He was talking to the referees.
Yes.
And the referee started going back to the locker room. Arvie started walking back to his guys, and all of a sudden he hollered over. He knew whoever the referee's name is in the white hat. I forget the guy's name that he called. And he said, hey. And he got the referee to come back and said, just so you know, this assistant coach is going to be calling timeouts tonight. Now, I thought that would mean that he'd be on the sideline going ahead and trying to promote some assistant to be the timeout call or whatever. But no, in this case, Arvie Crouch is up here across the field, standing on top of the press box next to the camera crew.
It might be his version of social distancing, or he might like the overhead view. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful view from our perspective.
He's got in his hand there a sheet, color coordinated with a bunch of different formations and play calls, whatever best we can see there. And he's got the headset on, so he's definitely communicating to the Mount Healthy sideline, but he's got some assistant coach running everything down there. Ball falls off the tee for Sanchez.
As the wind is blowing from left to right.
As the association would say, Dan, everyone knows it's windy.
Yes. Exactly.
All right, ball back up on the tee here. Again, Scott is back deep for the Edgewood Cougars, as well as number 17, Landon Howell for Edgewood. Squib kick up the middle, received by the up man. That's number 20, Brick Barker. And Brick Barker very alert on that play. That almost worked like an onside kick. It only traveled about 15 yards on a couple of hops. And Edgewood does recover it. He grabbed the ball, went straight down, no tackle on the play, and Edgewood's going to have phenomenal field position to start their second drive of the game.
Brick Barker, any relation to Bob Barker? You don't think so? Okay.
Somehow I don't know, but I would go and check and see if his pets were spayed or neutered. That'd be my first hint.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So we have, and you were right, Riley Brown is actually playing quarterback for Edgewood, not Eli Jones. Up the middle, handoff to the fullback, Tavion Crosby. He's got about 7 yards on the play, right up the gut.
And Sean Hartness once again on a tackle, the linebacker for Mount Healthy.
You had a good eye there on Riley Brown, and you're the novice at the radio here, Dan, but you caught that. He and Eli Jones were warming up together beforehand. I looked at the stats and saw that Eli was 2 for 11, but maybe that was in comeback garbage time when they were down 34-0 in the second half.
It could have been, but I know the quarterback's left-handed, so that's kind of unusual.
He is a lefty. He's a southpaw. Handoff going around to the wide back.
He's got some room.
That's Howell. He's got a lot of room.
He breaks a tackle.
Up the sideline to the 20. Inside the red zone to the 15-yard line. Very big gain for the Cougars.
34-yard run around left end. Great play by Edgewood.
We had said, looking at the box score from last year, a 41-21 game, and how 6 touchdowns were 40 yards or longer. We've seen a couple of very long plays already in the first quarter of this game, and we've not even reached the 6-minute mark of the first quarter.
It's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust here. It's like 40 yards on a good run. It's very unusual.
Indeed. So, again, we got the fullback Crosby behind the quarterback Riley Brown. Snap, given to Crosby. Crosby up the middle. Gets about 4 yards there. Tough running up the middle there, Dan.
Yes. I'm trying to see the tackle on that. That would have been Aries Lindsay.
Aries Lindsay. Tell me about your guys, Aries. You got a couple Aries on Mount Healthy you'd mentioned?
They actually have 2 Aries. They have an Aries Lindsay, and they have a tackle. Hold on, this play's coming, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay, we'll get back to our Aries in a second here. We got a couple wide backs, Scott and Howell both lining up. I mean, Scott's going to go in motion. The handoff is to Scott around the right side, and he has no gain at all there. Swallowed up by a bunch of Fighting Owls, and Aaron Hodge comes up with the tackle for Mount Healthy.
Now, I was watching, speaking of Aries, Mount Healthy has 2 players named Aries, which is an unusual name. Aries means ram, I believe. And they have an Aries lamb, so he's kind of ram lamb.
Ram lamb.
not to be confused with Ram Jam, Black Betty, and all that. All right, here we go.
We have 3rd and 8.
Yes, 3rd and 8.
Here's the snap.
Another run. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
a fake?
It was an inside reverse, Joel, and
You
it
had
was
the
gobbled
trap.
up. Yeah, gobbled up in the backfield.
Was that a double handoff?
Yes, double handoff or inside reverse. Terry Malone used to run that a lot back in the Baden era.
Nice.
I've seen it before.
It was going to Anthony Scott first, and then he handed it to, was it Crosby, the second guy?
Yes, but they lost 5 yards on the play.
Crosby did not teach his children well.
Oh, it's a music reference night. Okay.
Yes.
They're setting up for a field goal, Joel. Looks
Long
like it's
field goal.
33-yarder
Yes, 34 yards, it looks like, the
And
spot
he's-
of the ball.
against the wind.
Jonathan Testis lining up. He is center, at least. Kick is up.
Line drive.
He had a lot of distance on that, and that went wide to the left.
He had the length. You are correct. It was just he pulled it left.
Well, for the Bob Seeger reference, he was running against the wind.
Oh, yes, he was.
Didn't work there well. Now, because it's a missed field goal, as we learned last week, the ball gets put
at the 20-yard line.
at the 20-yard line. That would have been a rouge in Canadian football, though. That would have
Yes.
been worth a point.
That would have been a one-point
It did go over the
rouge.
back end zone line. It would have gone 10 yards past the end zone. He had plenty of leg on that, just wide to the left. So now the second possession for R.V. Crouch's Owls.
In case you're joining us, it's 7-0. Mount Healthy, 4:49 to go in the first quarter.
Nadavion Gaither looks over to the sideline. They're holding the letter S up there. This play brought to you by the letter S and the yard line 20. Snap to Gaither. He's going to keep it after faking it to Daniels. Gaither, quarterback power up the middle for about 11 or 12 yards, and that is going to move the chains for the Owls.
Okay, Joel, you saw the quarterback handling the ball there. What's the classic cliche when you don't hold the ball in tight? What was he doing? He was holding it like a
loaf of bread, right?
Absolutely. I just want to find one guy walking down the street just holding his arm out with a little loaf of bread sticking out. I don't know where they came up with that one.
If you see a guy coming from the old Jim's Corners Market with the loaf of bread in his hand, carrying it kind of loose, would somebody say you're carrying that thing like a football? That's what I want to know.
That's a great question.
2 wide receivers at the top, 2 at the bottom, and the handoff is again to Daniels. Looks like R.V. Crouch is doing something that he probably taught Nick Yorty how to do last year, right?
Yes.
Spread formation. This was a handoff up the middle for about 3 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Owls. We're down below 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter here on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network. Joel Sackenheim, Danny Vogt here with you from high above the press box out in the open air at Kumler Field.
It's just a beautiful night for football.
Oh, my goodness. Again, shotgun formation, 2 receivers to each side of the formation, and Isaiah Daniels is the running back. Zone read. Keeps it. Gaither up the middle. This one stopped a little better by the Edgewood defense. Did you get a number? There about 5 or 6 numbers.
There's 5 in there. Let me see who gets up last.
It's always the easiest way. Who gets up last?
Riley Payne on the tackle, the linebacker / running back.
Very nice. Ashton Arvin checks in to play defensive line on this 3rd down play for the Edgewood Cougars from the bench. It's going to be a 3rd down and about 4.5.
Well,
for Mount Healthy.
They're sorry to talk over.
Go for it.
They are putting the S play up again. Now, each time they've done the S, it's been a running play.
All right.
So they need 4 yards. We'll see what happens.
I'm curious if the S is a straight quarterback run or if it's a zone read.
That's a good question.
Man in motion.
There
Jet
it is.
sweep. It's a fake. Gaither keeps the ball.
And he is not going to get it, Joel.
By about a yard short, it's going to be 4th down and 1. How gutsy is R.V. Crouch early in the game?
I don't see the punter coming out there.
Offense is still on the field. Now, last year, R.V.'s best win was an overtime victory over Little Miami.
Okay.
That was his big upset last year. They won that game 36-35 by going for 2 to end the game at the end of overtime.
That is your classic thing to do.
So R.V. is not exactly risk-averse. He trusts his
4th
offensive
and 1.
line.
Here we go.
Under center. Gaither. Now he's got an I formation behind him. Hands to the up man, or to the back man, I should say.
They're stopped.
Trey Cornice, and he is not going to make it.
Beautiful defense.
Handoff straight up the middle.
Riley Payne again on the tackle. The
Infiltrating
junior.
the backfield for the Cougars.
I'll tell you there, I'm not going to question Mount Healthy, but I would much rather have seen them split out wide in the risk of a pass versus a run, and then they could have spread the defense out for Edgewood. Edgewood was packed in tightly there. They knew right what it was going to coming right up the middle. They busted through, hit them in a backfield. They lost yards there.
And we have a timeout on the field to reset the play clock, says the referee. We're down to 2:07 left to go in the first quarter. The interesting thing about that play call, Dan, was it was the exact same play that they scored on in a 3rd and short situation. Of course, it was 3rd down, not 4th down. It went off the left tackle instead of the right tackle this time.
Correct.
So a little confidence there for Arvey, but Edgewood was ready for this time. And now Eli Jones is in at quarterback, and he hands it off to Landon Howell.
Yes.
He's around the edge. He got a little bit of corner here around the edge, but he's not going to quite have enough for the first down as he ran out of real estate with the sideline there.
He was pushed out of bounds by Jahir Frierson, the defensive back for Mount Healthy.
And that's going to be about a 5-yard gain for the Cougars. So it looks like Edgewood is going with a rotating quarterback. I'm not going to beat myself up too badly. Eli Jones is in there now, the right-hander for the Cougars. You got Crosby is the fullback, and another running back offset there, Jay Daly.
A hard count, Joel. They drew him off sides. Mount Healthy with the 5-yard penalty.
This is the second flinch that Mount Healthy's defensive line has done today. And this one, about 5 yards, it looks like it's going to have him just barely short of moving the chains. And now the referee does signal for a first down. So it's going to be a 1st and 10. It was going to be very close. I'm surprised they didn't measure it, really, but
I don't know. They just rounded it off.
They rounded it off and said that's close enough. First down, Edgewood.
At the 31.
Left offset back. Handoff straight up the middle to Crosby.
Breaking tackles.
He's got a lot of room there. That's going to be about a 9-yard gain. Very deceptive. And now the clock is being stopped, which means they're going to actually have enough for a first down. 10 yards on the carry for Tavion Crosby of Edgewood.
Aries Lindsay on the tackle, the senior linebacker for Mount Healthy. Said his name a lot early.
Yeah, Aries has been all over the place. My goodness. So Eli Jones brings him out. The offset back is Daly. Crosby, the fullback. They give it to Daly. Crosby is the lead blocker, and there's not a lot of room there. Defensive line clutters that thing up, and it's actually going to be a slight loss for the Edgewood Cougars. We'll call it 2nd and about 11 now for Edgewood.
Aries Lindsay again on the tackle.
Is he playing nose tackle, Dan?
He's just shooting a gap. He's playing mean, I'll tell you that.
What number is he out there?
He's number 12. He's a senior linebacker. Not a lot of size, 5'11", 215. Who was that great Chicago Bear linebacker having a brain cramp? He had the eyes, and he would look at you.
Talking Singletary.
Yes.
I like this kind of party.
That's okay. That's the guy.
That's the guy,
He's
right?
built like Mike Singletary, short and stocky with a dang-on will to win.
2nd and 11 here for Eli Jones and the Cougars. We're down below a minute left in the first quarter. Crosby, the only running back behind. The wingback, blitz coming.
And a sack.
And Jones drop back. He gets up, immediately looks to the referees, pointing toward his helmet as if he got hit in the head, wanting maybe some sort of roughing the passer, and he's not going to get that on the play.
No, he's not. And 64.
64. Do we have a 64 on our roster? We do over here on this one.
Okay, good.
That would be Edgewood's, though, so that's not going to help us.
Yeah.
The mystery man, number 64.
Yeah, he's not on the Mount Healthy roster.
Who is that masked owl?
I don't know.
As the clock is going to wind down, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Edgewood's going to have a 3rd and 20 staring them in the face at the other end of the field. They'll at least have the wind advantage if they need to kick a field goal at the end of this drive. We've reached the end of the first. It's Mount Healthy 7 and Edgewood 0 on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
We are back here at Kumler Field. Joel Sackenheim, Dr. Dan Vogt. Pleased to have you with us here for Mount Healthy and Edgewood as we begin SWAC play, in conference play. 3rd and 20 for the Cougars, going now from left to right across your internet computer screen. And let's see what they do with the 3rd and 20 here. Do you just get enough to try to kick a field goal here? Eli Jones going to waggle out wide. He's looking for the backside. He's got a tight end, and he dropped it. Oh, my goodness. Bad spot to hit him right there in the hands. The intended receiver on the play looks like it was number 80, Evan Schwartz. It barely creeped over the linebacker. There was a linebacker or safety in coverage there. The ball did get over his hands, into Schwartz's hands. He couldn't come down with it. Had he been tackled right there, he'd have been about 5 yards short. Had he been able to catch it and run, he might have had at least a first down, if not end zone. Exactly. Now we have a 4th and 20 at the 30-yard line. You could try a field goal here and get 10 yards of field position if you miss it. They're going to go ahead and try to run an offensive play here.
Very similar formation as the last play. They might even be calling the same play.
And they're going to throw it straight up top. A jump ball intended for number 12, Max Meyer. And the defensive back on the play for Mount Healthy.
That was Geron Womack.
Geron Womack. And Meyer got his hands on that ball.
Yes, he did. I heard screaming down there. I don't know if Mount Healthy was saying that Edgewood was pushing off on the play. It could have been debated, but either way, he did not catch the ball, so no harm, no foul.
So Mount Healthy will then take over. 1st and 10 for the Owls.
At the 30
their own 30-yard line. That's right. Beanbag's on the 30. It's that orangish, reddish, bright beanbag there.
All right.
Looks like a pistol formation potentially for Mount Healthy. You've got Gaither and Daniels back there. Gaither, the quarterback. Daniels, the running back. 2 tight ends now in this formation. Here comes the snap, and it's going to be a pass. Gaither's looking long.
It was a hitch and go.
He's got a shot. Looking for Christian Jackson, and that falls incomplete. Just ever so slightly overthrown.
Nice defense on the play by number 2, Lane Howell, the cornerback. He's only a sophomore, and he bit a little bit. The wide receiver ran about 15 yards down, stopped. The defensive guy stopped also, and then he shot down the field. He was slightly overthrown.
Ever so slight. They didn't miss that by much.
Not at all, and I would go to that later in the game.
I saw them practicing that big, long pass play as part of their pregame warm-ups.
Okay.
And a bunch of guys on the sideline cheering them on as they were trying to complete that long pass. Now, here's the formation. Quarterback under center, and they're going to run it. No running backs back there, and this is – Edgewood was not fooled by that formation, Dan.
No. That looked like the old electric football play when they were all just stuck there, and they were swinging around and around and around where their arms got locked together.
They had Ladavian Gaither behind center. They had 2 running backs as the wide back, but no fullback behind, and there was definitely no lead blocker. He snapped it, took 1 step to the side, looking to try to get the gap between the guard and the center, and there was no gap.
No. Well, 3rd and 10 now.
Shotgun again for Gaither with Daniels as the running back.
Linebacker
Roll
blitz.
out to the right. Pass across his body, and it short hops his intended receiver. That was Christian Jackson on the play. Incomplete pass, 4th and 10.
And head coach is going punt, so we know what's coming.
Carter Smith, by the way, for Edgewood was that linebacker that you saw that blitzed a little late and found a nice wide-open hole, made Gaither throw that ball a little earlier than he wanted to.
And as we said last week, when you're rolling right and you have to throw across your body left, if you're not John Elway, it's not going to happen very often.
No, it won't. So back comes the punter, number 9, Geron Kelly.
All right.
For Mount Healthy. And back deep for Edgewood. Is that Scott? Anthony Scott, number 32?
Yes, it is.
See, they're angled ever so slight. I can see the 3. I can't see the other number, and now the helmet just has the E on it. Those Alabama-style numbers were really helpful in the first quarter when you're going from right to left.
Well,
but now going
plus,
from left to right, we just see the E.
I have to talk to you about TV numbers, too. Short punt.
bounces right before midfield and takes a
Oh.
big hop backwards for about 10 more yards backwards.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow. That punt is going to have a net. You ready for this, Dan? You saw it too.
7-yard net, Joel.
7-yard net.
It was short, it hit, and it just went right back the opposite direction.
It hit at about their own 49-yard line and then rolled backwards for about another 15
Now,
yards.
we can't be critical of the punter here. There is a strong wind blowing in his face.
That's true. That's true. Was it Chad Mitchell trio, right? 4 strong wins?
That one I don't
That
know.
one goes way back. It was before
No.
John Denver was a solo artist. How about that?
Oh, my.
Riley Brown, the lefty in there. They're alternating drives at quarterback. Scott.
Inside
and then
reverse.
There it is to Howell. Double handoff and a hold on the outside.
Oh.
He had a lot of yardage on the play. Got inside the 10-yard line, but it's going to be called back as that was Max Meyer holding on the defensive back, Geron Montana, for Mount Healthy. Montana, I think, had a shot to make that tackle before
he
Meyer
did.
held him.
Yeah, I like Montana when the guy got by him, he jumped up and was giving the whole signal right to the referee.
He was helping the referee with that call.
Yes, like he got me. Come on, throw that flag.
Now that hold happened 12 yards downfield.
Yes.
So what's going to happen on the play, the down is not going to count. You're going to get 12-yard gain and then a 10-yard penalty, which is going to make it 1st and 8 for Edgewood. And Mount Healthy, of course, is going to accept that penalty, even though it's 1st and 8, because otherwise it would be 1st and goal for Edgewood at about the 8-yard line.
Right.
That's where the running back Howell, off of the handoff from Scott, off of the handoff from Brown.
So it's like a 26-yard penalty if you do all the math.
That's right. Handoff up the middle to Crosby. He's driving his legs. The rugby scrum still goes a little bit.
Foul when they blow the whistle.
Referees didn't want to blow it because they were still making inches of progress here and there.
That was senior Randy Howard of the Owls, one of the players that we're supposed to look for today, make on the tackle.
So we're going to have a 2nd down now and 4 after that 4-yard gain, or 3-yard gain, I guess, maybe 2nd and 5.
2nd 5, yes, that's correct.
I love whoever the DJ is here at Kumler Field. They're playing a little Cool in the Gang here after that play.
Celebration. They like the 5-yard
They like the 3-yard gain.
Yeah, it was 3. You're right.
They're celebrating good times as they're down 7-0 at Kumler, but they're playing football, right?
That's right. That's
the key.
why it's good times.
Scott goes off tackle. Now cuts it back. Has a little bit of a hole. He's going to duck inside, get about 3.5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards for the Cougars.
Sorry to
Go
talk over
for
you.
it. Go for it.
Devontae Ross with the tackle. He's the defensive back for the Owls. A junior.
We're going to have a 3rd down. It's probably going to be a little closer to 2. Looks like with our sister station tonight, and they're doing the television side for Chris and Joey over there at Monroe. It looks like Monroe surprisingly has a 7-0 lead over Valley View.
Wow.
That would be very, very big. Valley View is a very prestigious football program if Monroe could pull that upset off tonight. And we have a timeout taken by Edgewood before this 3rd down play, so we're going to take it with them. We'll be right back here on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
We are back here at Kumler Field, and we're looking as Edgewood's still in their huddle getting ready for a 3rd and 2. A couple other scores we've seen here. Looks like Hamilton Big Blue is leading Lakota West 7-0. So Lakota West beats Coleraine last week and now is trailing Big Blue in the 1st quarter.
It just means Big Blue is a force. That's what that means.
Mason's up over Lakota East 7-0. Ross Rams. ScoreStream does not have this down here, but I've got Twitter next door saying Ross is up 7-0 on the Northwest Knights. 3rd and 2 now for the Cougars. Handoff to Crosby up the middle. Oh, man.
He was stuffed.
Aries Lindsay and Isaac
Lindsay
McKinney.
again.
The two of them clog up that hole right up the middle. No gain, a big fat nothing burger for Edgewood's offense there. They're still at the 29-yard line. They do have the wind, in their favor if they wanted to try a very long field goal, but I don't think they're going to try this.
No, I think they're going for it. Here we go.
Riley Brown still in the game here.
4th and 2. They're running the same play, I bet you.
Let's see here. They got a wide back coming around. That's Howell. And Howell is met in the backfield by your guy, Danny, Aries Lindsay, number 12.
He is a beast.
And so that play results in a net loss of yardage and a change of possession on downs. Mountain Healthy football.
I'll give Edgewood credit on the previous play. They ran the fullback up the middle, got stopped. Then they run the flanker coming across. He gets the ball, does a spin move, still gets stuffed. Aries Lindsay again.
McNicholas has taken a 7-0 lead on Fenwick as the GCL has also started.
1st and 10 now, Mount Healthy at the 32-yard line.
Handoff going wide to number 24. That would be Aaron Hodge. And there's a flag down. Arvie Crouch next to me saying, are you kidding me? He stretched that all the way out to the sideline. Gained nothing. Was met there by Edgewood. And we're going to have a hold on top of it. And this hold looks like it's about 5 yards in the backfield, which is going to make it about a 15-yard net on this penalty because they mark it off not from the line of scrimmage like the NFL does, Dan, but from the spot of the foul.
In the old days, holding was a 15-yard penalty. Now, that was well before you were born. And they made it a 10-yard penalty. But this is a good old-fashioned 15-yard holding play.
St. Xavier leads LaSalle 3-0 at the first quarter. That game available on 15:30 a.m. I think Rocky Boyman might be calling that game.
Just stay with us. You don't have
stay
to,
here, right?
Yeah. Don't go to 15:30.
Exactly. This is we don't have the Sunday ticket necessarily for Friday Night Football, but we're working on it, Dan. We're working on it. More and more coverage. Chris Vogt's done a good job trying to provide everything. Another whistle blowing here. And a timeout. Mount Healthy. We're going to take it with them here. 8:05 left to go in the second quarter. It's the Owls 7, the Cougars nothing.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Back at Kumler Field, Mount Healthy's got the ball deep in their own territory with the 1st and 25. Joel Sackenheim, Danny Vogt. Pleased to have you with us here from Kumler as the sun begins to set in Trenton, Ohio.
I think Mount Healthy has the ability to throw the ball a little bit better, but here comes a quarterback option read. He's running around right.
Gaither trying to get around the corner. He's going to get about 5 yards on the play.
Riley Payne with the tackle.
You've said his name a lot, Dan.
Yes.
Riley Payne has had a very active game for the Edgewood Cougars. You asked me during the break about Baden. I've not seen a score yet. They're in the second quarter, and I know that Baden just botched a punt.
Okay.
Alter has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 48 on a bad snap to the punt, but when somebody posts a score, we'll be able to get that. Ross is now up at the end of the first quarter, 14-6 on Mount Healthy. Or excuse me, not Mount Healthy, Northwest. Mount Healthy's here.
Well, Baden finally kicked the door in on Alter last year, and,
Twice,
yes, in the playoffs.
Oh, my goodness. Shotgun, Gaither. Quick little pass out to Hodge. He's circling backwards now. This is not good.
No. He was doing a Barry Sanders, but he did not do a Barry Sanders result.
It was a little quick swing pass to the running back there, Hodge. He caught it, took a couple steps to try to get around the corner, saw some blue jerseys, didn't like it, doubled back, which caused him to lose another 5 more yards or so. This is 3rd and ridiculously long.
This is where I would punt in 3rd
On
down.
3rd down.
Absolutely.
We got 3rd and 29 here for Mount Healthy. Not a lot of plays on that chart there for Arvie Crouch for 3rd and 29, I'm gonna guess.
All right, I'll tell you that Geron Kelly, the wide receiver for, I say throw an alley-oop to him. He's got size, He's got one-on-one coverage down here on the left.
We got
Just
two
run
running
deep.
backs. This might be the give-up play.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Wait.
draw, and a whistle blows, and they didn't get it off, and Mount Healthy takes a timeout
That was their third. They're done.
before a 3rd and 29 draw play. That's not the way you really would like to have it if you could have it back.
Now,
So
the scoreboard operator still has 3 timeouts, but Mount Healthy's used all 3 of
they've
their
used all
timeouts.
3 timeouts. My
Yes.
goodness. So, and one of those, Dan, you say punt on 3rd down. That's very unconventional, but I've seen it done before.
Oh, yes.
There's not a lot for 3rd and 29 you're going to be able to accomplish. And that play, the draw, I know Matt Vogt always used to call that the give-up play. He got very
Right.
frustrated when his Chicago Bears would run that on 3rd and long.
Right.
But clearly they're not trying to get a first down, well, unless they just happen to punch it, but they're not trying on 3rd and 29 to call a draw play and
Well-
be able to get 29 yards. And to have to burn their last time out doing that, I'm sure does not sit all that well.
Well, I just like number 9 there on Mount Healthy. 6'3" junior wideout. I mean, he looks like Calvin Johnson Jr. out there, and he's, obviously got the height. He's going up against Lane Howell, a 5'10" sophomore cornerback, so he's got experience over him. I say you throw it up to the guy. We'll see what happens.
They practice those deep throws, and they're going to do a quick wide receiver screen. To the right side of the formation, that was to Christian Jackson. He catches it right at the line of scrimmage. He runs about 8 yards, and we have another flag and a block in the back on the Owls.
Wow.
Now, Edgewood here could choose to decline this penalty, make it 4th and about 21, and know that they're getting a punt, or they can accept the penalty and go half the distance to the goal from about the 14-yard line.
No, they're declining it, Joel. Looks like they want to get the ball back.
That's not a bad choice either way there, is it, Dan?
No. Well, the punting woes of the Mount Healthy Owls, punting against the wind.
Yes.
I mean, they have the return man, Edgewood. He's all the way back at the 50-yard line. I'd move him up at least 10, maybe 15 yards. We'll see where it ends up.
I keep seeing Twitter updates about Rams and Knights, but it's
Okay.
not Baden and Alter. It's Ross and Northwest. Here's a punt. It's a line drive spinner. It does take a Mount Healthy roll. This one has much less hang time, but the roll is much better. Almost comes out rugby style. It goes across midfield and is down by Mount Healthy at Edgewood's 48-yard line. The Cougars are going to come out with 6:33 left to go in the second quarter and a 52-yard field with which to work.
Great punt there. It wasn't really an official rugby punt, but it was a low-line drive, and he didn't get up in the wind, and it just rolled and rolled. So,
It wasn't sexy, but he definitely played the wind.
Yeah, yes, he did.
Eli Jones, as the Edgewood Cougars continue to rotate quarterbacks each possession offensively.
Phew, that's confusing.
There you go. Steve Spurrier would approve, right? Eli Jones has a fullback behind him. He's going to drop back to throw. Oh my goodness.
And
he's
Aaron Hodge. He plays slot receiver, linebacker. He is a stud for Mount Healthy. Aaron
Now,
Hodge.
Chris Vogt, when you come back and listen to this radio broadcast, I'm familiar enough with Tecmo Super Bowl to know that there's a glitch in the game where you hit a certain button and it goes right around the center and you automatically sack the guy. That was basically what Aaron Hodge did right
Yes.
there.
He was down.
He got right past the center, took the quarterback Eli Jones down for a loss of about 8 yards. It's
That was-
2nd and 18.
That was an illegal Tecmo play.
They always do that. Double
Another-
handoff to Howell.
There he goes again. Oh,
He's going to only get about 5 yards there. Mount Healthy was a little wiser to that double handoff action there. Well, Dan, we saw a couple very large, long runs early in the game, and we kind of wanted to be playing a little bit of pinball back and forth with the scoreboard. The defenses have settled in very nicely.
they have. I think both teams know they have to run the ball. That's what they do best, and they're stopping it. By the way, Riley Payne again on the tackle on the last play.
How about it?
I bet he's got close to double digits in the first half.
Oh, my goodness. So with 3rd and 13 for the Cougars now. They're at their own 45-yard line. They've lost a total of 3 yards on these 2 plays they've run. So they've got to be able to do something. And a timeout now for Edgewood. Very sloppy as teams are having trouble getting plays in. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with the score. Mount Healthy 7 and Edgewood nothing.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
We're back at Kumler Field. It's 3rd and 13, and Eli Jones is back in the shotgun.
They got 4 wideouts. It's a spread.
Oh, got
Blitz.
past the blitzer, throws it up long. He's got a chance. 4 Mount Healthy Owls and 2 Edgewood Cougars around where that ball lands. Hits a couple hands. Might have been pass interference on the defense. Was close, but it's going to drop harmlessly to the turf.
It's almost like a punt, you know. And you know what? If he picks it off there, it's as good as a punt.
That's true. That's true.
That's the play I was thinking Mount Healthy should have ran on the last series.
Aaron Hodge was back there and nearly got the sack very early in that play, and Eli Jones sidestepped him and made him look foolish, slipping past him. Incomplete pass means 4th and 13, means that Anthony Scott is going to punt this ball for the Cougars.
I'll tell you, the Edgewood music guy, he's playing music after every song, different songs. It's just a
Little 3 doors down there. Kryptonite.
That was the.
Here comes the punt. It's got some hang time. The wind's going to carry it a little bit. It's going to rest into Christian Jackson's hands. Jackson fakes left, fakes right, goes back left again. We're going to have a couple face mask flags. 3 flags get thrown. It's all for the same penalty. It's going to be a face mask. He got the ball at the 20-yard line. He was able to shake and bake and juke for about 7 yards of field position there, and they're going to get 15 more, I think, on this flag.
Yes. Max Meyer on a tackle for Edgewood.
And now we got the Credence Clearwater Revival
They got
playing.
the bad moon horizon here.
How about as the moon is rising? Full
Is
moon
it?
was
I'm
a couple
looking
nights ago.
behind us.
Couple nights ago.
Okay.
Scoreboard update from up at Kettering Fairmont, the game that you had wanted to know. The Alter Knights have just kicked a field goal to go up 3-0 with about 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Well, we're both Baden graduates, so
we are both Baden
we are
grads.
Ram fans, you know.
Edgewood's played Baden the last few seasons. They were scheduled to play Alter this year before the pandemic shortened the season from 10 games to 6 and made them play only a 1-game non-conference schedule.
Looks like that penalty was actually against Edgewood there on the.
That's
on
correct.
The
Yep. So Mount Healthy's going to be at the 41-yard line now, their own 41. Handoff goes to number 7, Cornice. He's the one that scored the touchdown earlier, and he's going to run for about 5 yards of tough running, going from the left of the quarterback, taking the handoff, and going between the right guard and right tackle. 2nd down and 5 for the Mount Healthy Owls. We're down to 4.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter of play as Mount Healthy holding on to a 7-0 lead as both defenses have settled in. Both offenses have tried to throw it a little bit, but mostly stuck to the running game and tried not to make the big mistake. Handoff, not a handoff. Kept it. Gaither faked the handoff to Corinth.
Nice
Kept
tackle.
it. Got across midfield. Tackle made by Edgewood's number 2, Lane Howell.
Yes.
And it looks like they're going to have almost enough for a first down. Actually, they marked him at the 49, not the 50, and that will be enough for a first down just across midfield for the Mount Healthy Fighting Owls. Are they really fighting, Dan?
Not really. They're just debating, I think.
The debating Owls.
Yes. we're better birds than you are. they're playing cold as ice over there.
We're
I
better, and we can prove it by logic and ethos and pathos, right?
Oh, my.
Here's the snap. Aristotelian rhetoric. Handoff up the middle. That goes to Cornice, and he's got a lot of room. Gashes the Edgewood defense for 12 yards. They're across the 40-yard line.
Riley Payne on a tackle once again.
New set of downs for the Mount Healthy Owls at the 38-yard line.
Now, this is a nice drive for Mount Healthy. 3 minutes to go in the half. You know, they can just keep pounding the ball and score right before the half's out.
And they're going with 2 running backs instead of 1 now. Again to Corinth.
Now he's running right.
And Cornice bounces it outside, gains about 2 yards. Couldn't quite shake the tackler for Edgewood.
Namare. Yeah.
Edgewood's on your right side. I know, I do it too. Brick Barker with the tackle.
Bob's grandson. The tackle was right on the
The
play.
tackle was right. 2nd down and 9
That's
here.
a great name, Brick Barker.
Well, they kind of ran that ball like he was playing Plinko a little bit, kind of bounced it in and out a little bit and off a couple pegs and then got down. Exactly. So Nadavion Gaither is now under center here. 2nd down and 9. We got a fullback immediately behind him, and Hodge flips the outside. Gaither's going to keep it. He had Hodge as a pitch man, decided to keep it and not go ahead and make the pitch, and he's going to gain a yard at most, and it's going to set up 3rd down and long for the Owls.
Edgewood definitely knew that play was coming. Carter Smith on the tackle.
That was kind of the old school triple option there where you had the option to hand it to the fullback. He tucked it. He ran to the right side. Hodge was lined up on the left, and it bounced all the way to the right side, was looking for the pitch that never came. Now we have 3 wide outs.
3rd and 9. We got 2 minutes to go here in the half.
2 running backs in the shotgun for Gaither. He takes the snap, fakes to Daniels, going to throw it up top. And that ball does not quite reach Aaron Hodge. He kind of threw that up as a jump ball with a hope and a prayer. Not a lot of confidence behind that throw, Dan.
No, the Mount Healthy coach screamed up here, "What are you doing?" So I don't know if he didn't throw the ball correctly or they ran the wrong route. He just wasn't happy with the play in general.
Hodge was lined up as the slot receiver. He was kind of on a bit of a streak post there, but that ball got thrown really early in that route.
It was almost like he had to run to the ball because it was just not thrown where he was going.
Bit of a pop fly, and it just kind of out flew everybody there. 4th down and 9. But again, with this position on the field, Mount Healthy is going to go ahead and go for it rather than punting or missing a field goal and giving it to the ball at the 20.
I would not go for it here, but here we go. We'll see what
Man
happens.
in motion, ball was snapped before Gaither was ready for it. He's going to scramble right. He's got a chance. He breaks it. He gets out to the 20-yard line. And on what looks like possibly a busted play, he's going to be able to scramble and get himself out of trouble for a 19-yard gain. Back-breaking for Edgewood. Gives you a little shot of energy from Mount Healthy.
Well, that's just one where the Mount Healthy coach said, "Hey, Mr. Gaither, just do something. Make a play."
It looked like they had a man in motion. It looked like the snap was almost hit the guy in motion.
Yes.
Gaither was not ready for the snap.
Sloppy.
He rolled out to the right, and he just tucked it and ran. Gaither bobbles this ball. He's going to pick it up. Another broken play around the right side.
He still got 3 yards out of it.
That's not bad.
I mean,
not bad.
Keeps that clock running.
That one was on a bad snap. That one kind of hit his feet, and he had to kind of roll around the ground there to kind of get control of it. And by the time he picked it up, it was, again, time to dart.
We got 1:20 left. It's 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line. For some reason, Mount Healthy is slowing down now. Well, they are out of timeouts.
They are.
That's a problem.
So they're down to 1:10 as the clock continues to run. They don't want to give Edgewood the ball back too early, but they do need to keep moving. Option play. Here's the pitch out to Daniels. Isaiah Daniels is going to run it.
Nice play.
He keeps going. He runs out of bounds, which will stop the clock.
And a first down would have done it too, which he got.
And he got the first down as well. The first down would have paused it, but the tackle out of bounds will not only pause it, but will keep it stopped. It's like a free timeout for Mount Healthy. They got 59 seconds and 3 downs to work with. It is 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. This is a very, very important sequence in this game. Mount Healthy's
especially for Edgewood. They have to get a stop here at 14 points. It's hard to come back on that when you're a run dominant.
And I believe Mount Healthy is getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter as well.
Okay.
So very important to keep this a 1-score game, if possible, for the Cougars. And Mount Healthy, very important to try to score and make this a 2-score game.
Nice play there. They tried a fake handoff to the left, let the quarterback run right. Edgewood said, "We know it's coming." Tackle in the backfield.
Jay Daly on the tackle for Edgewood.
3-yard loss there.
And the clock runs. Yes, sir.
40 seconds.
Tick, 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 tick.
Edgewood's going, "Take your time, guys."
They're looking over at the sideline.
Boy, they're not in any hurry.
They're nonchalant about this clock management.
They better throw a pass
We're
here.
down to 25 seconds.
Another run.
A handoff. This is going to Cornice. Out to the outside, and he does
get out of bounds.
Get out of bounds.
Wow. Gosh.
They had it all the way, Dan. That's going to be about a 0-yard gain.
I would have liked to seen Edgewood tackle him inbounds to see a super quick fire drill play, because that's what would have happened.
Yeah, I mean, that would have had to have been almost a get over the line of scrimmage and spike it and then try to kick it there. It's 3rd and goal now from the 11-yard line. Now, here's the deal. If you get sacked, if you get tackled anywhere in bounds, it's not a touchdown. You're not going to have time to do anything on 4th down.
You got to throw the ball. They got 2 wide out on the right, 1 on the left, a slot guy. It's definitely going to be a pass, Joel.
Here comes Gaither. Looking, jump onto the end zone to number 9. Tips it to himself and scores.
Touchdown.
Geron Kelly from 11 yards out. That was man coverage. Lane Howell was on the coverage for Edgewood. Lane Howell is 5'10". Geron Kelly is 6'3".
That was the matchup I was talking about earlier, wasn't I?
We saw the guy in pregame, Geron Kelly, and we said, man, that number 9, he's pretty tall. He had man coverage on the left side of the formation toward the bottom of your internet screen. They just threw up a jump ball. He jumped up over top of Lane Howell, tipped it to himself, and then came down with it on the second catch in the end zone. And it is 13-0, extra point pending. Sanchez's kick is blocked. No good. And so Mount Healthy will have a 13-0 lead. We're going to keep it right here since there's only 13 seconds left to go.
Riley Payne, we've called his name all night. Riley Payne busted through and blocked the extra point. Earlier in the game, we were contemplating when it was down on the other side of the field. It was like a 3rd and 29, and I said, throw it to the big guy, 6'3" here. Well, they did it on that play.
And that was perfect because they were out of timeouts. They couldn't afford to get tackled down inbounds.
Correct.
It was and goal, so you couldn't pick up a first down there. And it was 3rd down.
Exactly. And 6'3" over 5'10", I'll tell you, they got the size advantage there, and it worked.
Scoreboard update as we're getting ready into halftime up at Kettering Fairmont. Landon Viderick has scored a 1-yard touchdown run for the Baden Rams. Extra point was good. And so with just under a minute left to go in the second quarter, Baden leads Alter 7-3.
Now, Viderick, this is his first year as a varsity quarterback.
First year as varsity quarterback. He replaced the graduating Zach Schweitzer.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Schweitzer had a good year last year.
Yeah, and he had 4 touchdown passes in his opening game.
Against Ross.
Yes, impressive. Now he's got a running touchdown, you just said.
Yep, Ross leading Northwest right now 14-6.
Now, is Viderick a junior, Joel?
Viderick is a junior.
So they got him coming back next year, too, so they're going to be pretty happy with that.
That's right.
The beat goes on for the Baden Rams.
If they can knock off Alter, they'll already start their new streak.
Yes.
After 22 straight losses, they'll have 3 straight wins if they can pull this one off tonight.
That's tremendous.
Short kick to the up man. That's Riley Payne. Riley Payne's going to run it across the 30-yard line into a scrum, and he stopped about the 32-yard line. We have 5 seconds remaining, and I wouldn't expect Edgewood to do a whole lot more than kneel the ball or give a quick handoff here and go in at halftime with a 13-0 score, Dan.
I agree with you. We'll see an off-tackle run.
Beach Boys?
I get around, yes. 1964.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1964.
One
How
of my
about
favorite Beach Boy songs.
My dad listening at home has got that Billboard album. The color is like it's like an ugly goldish green, kind of olive, dirty green there in the album.
Definitely a running formation.
Snap, handoff, goes to Anthony Scott. Scott's got a little bit of yardage, not much. Tackled after about a 3-yard gain, and that's going to end the first half of play. We have reached halftime as the sun sets here at Kumler Field. The Mount Healthy Owls have a 13-0 lead over the home Edgewood Cougars. We'll be back after these messages.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Edgewood marching band has taken the field, and they're playing a little bit of Gary Glitter here at halftime.
Rock and roll part 2.
Part 2. Have you ever heard Rock and Roll Part 1?
Yes,
Dan?
I have.
You
yes,
have.
I have.
Can you tell me about Rock and Roll Part 1? I don't know anything about Rock and Roll Part 1.
It's not as good as 2. It's basically the same riff as 2. You know, duh, duh,
hey.
but instead of that, they go rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll, and that. It's not as good.
Checking scores of other games here at the half, and these scores are all late second quarter scores. Actually, Baden has gone to halftime. Baden has a 7-3 lead over the Alter Knights. Now, Dan, Baden had lost, before last year, they had lost 22 straight games to Alter.
Yes, it's almost like when the Cincinnati Reds play the St. Louis Cardinals. At a while, there was almost psychological.
How do you do it?
Yeah, how can we finally beat Alter? I mean, year after year, I'd go down and watch Baden play Alter, and even the best Baden team somehow lost to Alter, and it was very frustrating. So last year was just a breath of fresh air seeing Baden bust through and win in the playoffs.
They got them twice.
Yeah, and Alter, their season was a disaster at the beginning, and then they hauled rear end and were playing great at the end of the year, and I thought, uh-oh, this Alter team might be like the old guys, and then Baden got them in the playoffs, thank goodness.
How about it? Yeah, we're looking at Twitter right now, and you can actually see the quarterback sneak over here for Landon Vitterick scoring that touchdown. Cross town in Monroe at the Hornets' Nest tonight, we got Chris Vogt and Joey Vogt on the television calling Valley View and Monroe. Valley View has just taken a 10-7 lead in that game. Valley View Spartans are a really good program. Monroe had upset Madison last year in Week 9. That was kind of the we're here, the culture is starting to change game. They brought in Coach Butts as well as Coach Ballard, 2 former Ross head coaches, to join their coaching staff at Monroe this year. And now here they are with Valley View, tangled up with them. 10-7 Spartans leading as that game approaches halftime.
It's nice to see Monroe's program on the rise.
And Chris and Joey are going to have, I think, all 3 Monroe games televised. They've got a deal work with them for this regular season here. Fairfield leads Middletown 28-6 as they approach halftime. Middletown was giving them a few fits early, but Fairfield now has started to really kind of put themselves on the throat there of the Middies.
Halftime here, 13-0. You have to wonder now with Edgewood, that's 6 straight quarters now that they went without scoring. And personally, I'm not a fan of the rotating quarterbacks. I think during the week you need to just establish who the guy is. Maybe they just don't know who the guy is, and they're changing him on every play.
Trying to figure it out. Well, here's the interesting thing, though.
Yeah.
Edgewood has not attempted to throw the ball, but maybe 2 or 3 times.
That's true.
So when you conventionally think about rotating quarterbacks, you're thinking about a quarterback getting into a rhythm with the passing game. In this case here, it's mostly a handoff and deception game of double traps and sweeps and off tackles. And so really the only thing it gives you, the difference between Eli Jones and Riley Brown, is one of them is a lefty and one of them is a righty. And I don't know if that changes the shell game and how you're trying to play it, but when your game is so premised on being able to run the football, and Witten Woods comes in here and stuffs it, and Mount Healthy has been able to be disciplined enough. Harvey Crouch has to be happy with how his defense has played in the first half of this game.
Absolutely.
It leaves you scratching your heads for Edgewood. Do you start throwing the ball? It's not your cup of tea. It's not your bread and butter, but you got to get something
play
going.
Action fakes, just something. You know, maybe get in a running formation. Now, do you remember the play earlier in the half when they did the play action fake and they threw it to the tight end, it went off his hands?
Yeah.
See, I think a little more of that might be what they should try in the second half.
Wouldn't be bad.
No.
Over at the Hawks Nest alongside I-75 there.
Where is the Hawks Nest,
Mason
Joel?
and Lakota East.
Very good.
Lakota East Thunderhawks. That game's already in the third quarter. Those two teams love to run the football even more than these two teams do.
Okay.
Lots of running the ball, lots of
fast
3-yard
game.
gains. Mason, that game's on WMOH radio right now. Mason leads. I believe that's Jason Earhart and Joe Cole with the call. 14-7. Mason over the Lakota East Thunderhawks. Mason snuck into the playoffs last year as the 8th seed on the last game by beating Princeton. Lakota East knocked off Hamilton the last game of last season, but could not get the playoff points they needed to be able to sneak in. Madison Mohawks, Milton Union Bulldogs tied at 6 at the half here in the Butler County. Of course, they're on the road up at Milton Union tonight. Over in the GCL, St. X and LaSalle are tied at 3 as they approach halftime. McNicholas, this is a bit of a surprise. McNicholas leading Fenwick 17-0. Fenwick had been better than McNicholas the last several years, but Fenwick did not get a first game in at all. And
Okay.
they're a little rusty playing their first
Yeah,
game.
a little
McNick's
rusty
playing
will
their
do
second. McNick won their first game last weekend. Ross leads Northwest. The other battle of the Rams and the Knights tonight, besides Baden and Alter. Ross 27, Northwest 13. That's down there at Northwest High School off Pippin Road. Ross is going up next week to play Talawanda. I believe you and I are probably going to end up having that game.
There you go.
Coleraine leads Oak Hills 13-0 as they approach halftime. Coleraine trying to get reset back into the GMC after losing that 75-plus game GMC winning streak to Coach Tom Bolden, their old coach.
That is amazing, isn't
Came
it?
in there with Lakota West last year. He is still undefeated in home games at Coleraine.
To put that in perspective, 75 games in your conference, winning every one. I mean, how many years would that be?
I think it goes back to like 05 or 06 maybe.
Wow.
Like and I think it was
That was almost like Baden and Alter.
I
for
think
a
it was
while.
Jason Krause, who's now coaching Fairfield. I think he was at Middletown at the time when they did it. There was a decently length winning streak before that one loss there. So Coleraine has been dominating that conference for a very, very long time. All right, Dan, we got a little bit of time here to kill before we get ready to start the third quarter.
Sure.
Mount Healthy will get the ball. Oh, by the way, also of note, you see this on your screen, New Miami at Purcell Marion. That game is at Norwood's Shea Stadium tomorrow at 6 p.m. And I believe Chris Vogt and I are going to try to get a TV camera down there and get a little New Miami action. We're going to see if we're successful with that. They don't have wireless internet inside the press box. We're going to be attempting to use a mobile hotspot, which is
Good luck to you.
Chris doesn't normally love to do, but if we can get that, we will bring that to you also on the Butler County High School Sports Report. Chris and I will be there tomorrow in Norwood trying to pull that off for you guys. All right, it's Labor Day weekend, fantasy football.
And I'll tell you, in the old days, and I know, didn't the NFL season used to start on Labor Day weekend?
It did before the terrorist one.
The 9/11.
9/11 changed that, actually. 2001 was the last year that there was Labor Day weekend opening NFL Week 1, and when they had to cancel Week 3 of
Okay.
that year.
Yes.
They-
I had tickets for a football game at Week 3.
Who were the Lions playing that
The
week?
Lions
I'm assuming
were
the Lions
playing
game, right?
Dallas.
Oh my gosh! Okay, so you and Nick would have loved that. His son Nick is a huge
well,
Cowboys
we got
fan.
to watch it later
they,
in the season.
They bumped it to Week 17.
That is correct.
So they moved all they didn't reschedule anything. They just took all the Week 3 games and tacked it on really kind of as a Week 18.
Well, my youngest boy, Joshua, his birthday is August 31st, and I remember distinctly growing, as he was a little toddler, the NFL season was always around, the 1st of September, August 31st in rare occasion, and now it's been pushed all the way back to, September, the Thursday game.
Well,
that's
September 10th this year.
right.
It's always the Thursday after Labor Day, so that
Right.
could be up as early as September 4th, and I believe this year is the latest it can possibly start, September 10th.
That's correct.
Labor Day is the 7th of September this year. It's always on a Monday, of course.
But
so, yeah, they
fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, go ahead. We had our draft the other night, and this is a draft that me and my buddy Pat Linehan, my high school buddy, we have been in a fantasy football league since 1998.
Were you using the USA Today back then?
USA
The
Today
newspapers?
was where we got our stats. No computers.
Get the box scores, cut them out.
Oh, yes.
Do the math.
Old school, old school. Well, the COVID got us this year. We decided to do the online Yahoo draft, the auto draft.
How'd
And,
that go?
Well, one of our players couldn't make it. We have 12 in our league. He was very upset because the auto draft drafted him 2 kickers and 2 defenses.
Ooh.
So he was not happy about the auto draft. So that's why you need to show up for your auto draft. But that being the case, you're a Panther guy, Joel.
Yes.
Number 1 consensus pick
Is Christian McCaffrey.
Absolutely.
He was unbelievable last year, and I, as a Panthers fan, hope he is every bit as unbelievable with Teddy Bridgewater at the helm for Matt Rule's boys this year.
Well, I made the big mistake last year. I had the 2nd pick in the draft, and I took Saquon Barkley, and the guy after me took Christian McCaffrey. He ended up winning the league.
There
so
you
there you go.
Well, last year, Christian McCaffrey, of all people, and throwing McCaffrey and your auto draft, we had 10 friends in our chicken league that we play in.
Yes.
Our Island of Misfit Toys group. And poor George Cavallera shows up at our draft. He shows up 5 minutes early before he sets his computer up, and he forgets his login to ESPN.com. And we're all there in person, but we're all using the laptops and doing it online in person.
Right,
This is before COVID last year.
Right.
And so he ends up having to auto-draft, watching the computer do it for him because he could not remember his password. My buddy Austin is sitting at 7. McCaffrey would have still been on the board for him at 7 last year. Austin was salivating, but George was at 5.
Let me ask
And
this.
George
Was
couldn't get in.
Was George yelling at the screen, pick McCaffrey?
He didn't want McCaffrey.
Oh, he didn't.
And he got about halfway through the season and thought, this guy's pretty good. Well, he went through the draft, and they gave him every running back and receiver, whether healthy or whether injured,
Yes.
whoever ESPN's rankings were doing the auto draft. He didn't have a quarterback, didn't have a quarterback. And as we got very late in the draft and we knew it was going to give him a quarterback and we flipped to the list of quarterbacks of who all was there, it was the day after Andrew Luck retired. And Andrew Luck was still the highest-rated quarterback on the board.
Shout out to Josh.
And
Andrew Luck.
we knew that Andrew Luck was going to go auto-picked to George as his only quarterback 4 rounds before it happened.
Well, shout out to Andrew Luck. My son Josh, he loves Andrew Luck's moxie. He just went into that 3rd preseason game and he said, I'm done, guys. The Colts said, Andrew, we love you. Here's your $17 million signing bonus. You can keep it. made my Detroit Lions look like schmucks there. They never paid Barry when he quit early. They didn't pay Calvin Johnson when he quit early.
Oh, my goodness.
But the Colts, they do it right. They paid Andrew Luck all the money.
Classy organization,
Yes,
right?
the Colts are. Absolutely.
All right. So we're getting ready to start the 3rd quarter here. We'll be right back after this quick commercial. 13-0, Mount Healthy over Edgewood.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
We're back, Dan.
That's okay. I was just saying, you are correct. Mount Healthy is getting the ball first.
We've learned a lot about hot microphones in Cincinnati this summer,
Yes,
I think,
we have.
Unfortunately, right?
I love you, Tom.
Thom.
Thom, yeah.
Thom, yes.
Yeah, ask Marty Brenneman why he spelled his son's name.
He answered that actually on the air.
T-H-O-M. We'll come back to that in a minute. Here we have
Jonathan
the
Test
kickoff.
is kicking it off to start the 3rd quarter. Squibber along the ground, keeps bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, and finally picked up by Aaron Hodge. He's running sideways and now starts to cut it up and couldn't quite get the corner that he wanted. He is going to pick up about 12 yards of return yardage on that play from the 12 all the way out to about the 25-yard line, which is where the Mount Healthy Owls will begin their first possession of the 2nd half.
I was just saying, I don't agree with what Tom Brenneman said, but you know what? I respect him as an announcer. I think he's a good family man. I think he'll probably end up doing Reds games next year again.
We'll see if cancel culture gets him or if it destroys him, as it's destroyed a lot of people.
Yes.
Very, very challenging time to be a comedian, to be a host of any sort. John Cleese was out there talking. There's a snap, handoff up the middle for Mount Healthy. That goes to whoever the fullback was, and a blob of bodies We're going to look and see him
It's
get up. That would be Isaiah Daniels there.
And Riley Payne once again on the tackle. I'll just say Riley Payne on every play. I'll probably be right 90% of the time.
Edgewood's defense bringing the pain to Mount Healthy tonight.
Bringing the pain.
Indeed. Yeah, John Cleese for the BBC is one of the Monty Python guys who's actually talking about cancel culture and how difficult it is to be a comedian, because as a comedian you almost have to make somebody a little bit uncomfortable with your joke because that's what makes it humorous. Here's a snap. Gaither's going to keep it. Bounce around to the outside. Got a little bit of room.
Nice effort. First down.
Carries the scrum past the first down marker and out to the 38-yard line of Mount Healthy. It's going to be first down and 10 for the Fighting Owls. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
I'm saying Gaither's definitely their best player. You can see it. You know that.
He's slippery.
Yeah. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's the quarterback. He's really more of a ball handler. He's thrown a couple of passes. He's not thrown a ton.
No.
And with a 13-0 lead, he's probably going to throw even less. And if they score on this drive, he'll probably throw even less than that for the rest of this game. They got two running backs next to him, Daniels and Cornist by Gaither. The handoff is to Cornist. Going off right tackle. He's got some room. He's got a seam. He's breaking to the 20, to the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Healthy. 62-yard run. And, Dan, I don't think he was touched.
He wasn't touched. He just busted through the seam on the right side, and he was gone.
Left running back between the right guard and right tackle. That Mount Healthy offensive line sprung him, and Arvie Crouch is thrilled up here. He's doing a little happy dance. You hear him going, woo! Mount Healthy up 19-0 with Sanchez on to attempt the extra point for the Owls. They're all lined up. Here comes the kick. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick splits the uprights. The Mount Healthy Owls have a 20-0 healthy lead over the Edgewood Cougars, and the Kumler Field crowd, Dan, is a little bit stunned.
Yeah, they're stunned. I'll tell you, they ran, and it could have been behind my man Aries Lamb. Now, he's an offensive lineman. He's a senior for Mount Healthy. He's had college offers from UC, West Virginia, Ohio U, Ball State, so he's a heck of a ball player.
Oh, yeah,
He's
my
gonna
goodness.
be playing on the next level, that's for sure.
Yeah, Arvie Crouch has got these boys going now, and it is 20-0. And, Dan, there was a time, it was 7-0.
Yes.
And Mount Healthy was in the red zone, and we had said very, very important series there. And on that third down play, the jump ball to the end zone, they come out and get the ball, take it right down the field. In a game that was very evenly played throughout almost the entire first half, Edgewood Cougars and Scott Clemens look up at that scoreboard now and see in a pretty even game, they're now down 20-0.
Now, after we have the kickoff here, I'm going to ask you a question about some Edgewood strategy here on
All right.
offense.
So Sanchez is to kick it off. Let's see if he squibs this one. No, line drive goes to Scott. Scott fields it at the 14, runs it up toward the 30. He's got a bit of a seam.
Nice.
Picks up a couple blockers. He's down at the 39-yard line. Very nice return for the Cougars. You had Andrew Gray and Sammy Huff for Edgewood downfield on that wedge, causing a little bit of blockage.
And that was Geron Womack on the tackle.
Womack makes the stop. 40-yard line for Edgewood. They've got the field position, but now they're down by 3 scores.
So is it too early to do what you're not comfortable with and throw the ball?
Oh, my goodness.
Here, Joel?
Well, here's the problem. You may need to keep the ball on the ground to move it. And I have seen Terry Malone come back from a 21-0 deficit, similar situation. But you cannot dilly-dally. The handoff is to Howell over the left tackle. He's going to get about 2 yards. So here's the problem. You need to run.
He's tackled by a mess of owls. How many? Is a lot of them a mess?
I don't know.
Okay, just trying to figure out what poor
I know
old
it's not a
owls is.
pellet.
Oh, okay.
I know what an owl pellet is.
Go back to your Malone reference there, Joe.
No owl pellets. You don't want to dissect that, Dan.
No, sir.
Well, the thing is, when you're built on the run,
Yeah.
you almost have to keep running the football, but that gives you a very little margin of error. If you start throwing it all over the field, you're begging to get intercepted with all these skill players.
There we go.
Okay, jumping into the neutral zone goes Rad Rothermel. And Rad is going to jump off sides for a 5-yard penalty, and that's going to stop the clock. At least pause it. Edgewood's going to pick up 5 yards. But, yeah, the problem is as you work your way down the field, you're taking a decent little chunk of time off the clock, and you can't afford to do that when you're down by 3 scores.
Well, it's a little early to be panicking. We're still early in the third quarter, so.
Yeah. But when you run the football, it gets early late, as Yogi Berra would say. Here comes the snap
Here's
and a throw,
pass.
and
There
he's
you
got a
go.
first down. That throw was from Eli Jones. He had a wide receiver lined up at the very top of the screen, left side of the formation. That receiver, I'm trying to look there and see the number, was number 12, and that would be Max Meyer.
And he was tackled by Aries Lindsay, also
number 12. So he catches the ball. He basically ran about 2 yards past the sticks, did a button hook, stopped there. Ball was thrown perfectly, came right down with it, and was tackled right there on the spot. 1st and 10, Edgewood, across midfield now at the Mount Healthy 49-yard line. 2 running backs back there. The handoff is to the wide guy. Oh, and he is stopped by Aaron Hodge. Oh, my goodness. Jay Daly was the left running back in that formation. He took a handoff and was going to try to take that around the right tackle, and Aaron Hodge met him between him and the fullback. There was nowhere to go, and a 6-yard loss for the Cougars. Ouch.
Ouch is right. Aaron Hodge has been given the Cougars fits now for 2 years. We'll talk to you about what he did last year.
Oh,
next
man.
time.
Here comes the snap. Handoff up the middle to Crosby. And Tavion Crosby gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 for the Cougars. Obvious passing situation here. What did Aaron Hodge do in last year's 41-21 victory for Mount Healthy over the Cougars, Dan?
He ran a kickoff back for 80 yards, and then he ran a 75-yard running touchdown. So he was a beast last year.
Look out, he's
Edgewood is
loose.
seeing he can be a beast on the defensive side of the ball also tonight.
5'8", 165-pound senior. I wonder if he's getting any college offers.
He should, at least as some kind of
Should
kick
get a look.
returner or something.
Dude's good. Pass. Eli
Nice.
Jones to the slant. Hits Meyer. He's got about 13 yards. That was an easy slant pass, Dan.
That was nice. I mean, that's what I want to see out of Edgewood. But now let's see him throw it when they're not expected to throw it. Okay?
They've got to be a little more multiple attacked on the offense. They just need to at the time. They're down to 8 minutes left to go, and now down below 8 minutes in the third quarter.
That was a beautiful play. I mean, just a beautiful play. The quarterback hit him right in stride. Didn't
Meyer
have
was
to
out
wait.
wide left, and he did a little slant pattern, ran about 5 yards and slanted in. It was great. Handoff up the middle to Crosby. He's got some running room now, and he
Nice.
boulders for about 12 yards. Edgewood's offensive line has had some trouble today, but they created a very nice seam there for Tavion Crosby to gash.
And that was
the Owl
Jerome
defense.
Womack once again on the tackle.
Womack has been busy today on defense for
Yes,
Mount Healthy.
Mount Healthy has about 3 guys that are doing all the work.
You hear those names a lot on defense. A lot of linebackers coming up and make tackles and such. Here's a stat. Okay, first down. Again to Crosby up the middle.
And they got the running game going now.
Oh, my gosh. 9 more yards, and Edgewood is into the red zone. They need this. Big drive for the Cougars to try to answer as the game was trying to slip away from them. 2nd and 1 now. Here's a stat from Roger Bacon. You ready for this one? Senior running back Corey Keiner, who Baden saw last year and is not going to see this year. 171 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns in the first half tonight as the Spartans lead CHCA 42-7 at the half.
So
Roger
we got a running
Bacon.
clock there.
Man, handoff
Same
around to Scott, trying to go around the right tackle. He's got it a first down. He's got about 11 yards there. Not 11 yards. It was from the 16-yard line. He's got about 6 yards there.
That's Irel Casey. Now he's made the last 2 tackles. I was watching what they do with Aaron Hodge on defense, Mount Healthy.
Okay.
They were literally lining that young man up as a nose tackle. So he's just quick. He doesn't have the size, but he can out-quick
Yeah, they got him listed as a linebacker, 5'8", 160. And the best I can describe for anybody that's ever played Tecmo is that little cheat code going around the center. That's really what he's been doing. Snap. Crosby up the middle.
Breaking tackles.
And he's inside the 5-yard line to about the 3. It's going to be 2nd and goal for Edgewood.
That was Jahir Frierson on the tackle, senior defensive back.
Edgewood's figured something out. They've not been able to stop Hodge from busting up everything they want to do in the backfield, so they're just basically running it right past him.
Yeah,
they stopped blocking him. He's going into the backfield.
He's running past them. You're exactly
The
right.
fullback is lined up so close to the quarterback that he's taking the snap and just handing it to him up the middle, and Hodge is flying past trying to break up whatever's going on behind, and there's nothing to break up. Look for Crosby on this play as well. Handoff, and it is to Crosby, and he fumbles, and the ball is picked up and pounced upon by Eli Jones. That was disastrous, or could have been disastrous, for the Edgewood Cougars.
Oh, yes, it was.
I don't think he got the snap clean. He turned around. Maybe the center stepped on his foot. Maybe the ball was still bouncing. But he tried to hand that off to Crosby, and I don't think Crosby ever quite had it.
For you to visualize that, you've seen the run option play where the quarterback sticks it in the belly of the running back, and he holds it, and he holds it, and he holds it. He kind of held it too long, and the ball just flew out.
It just kind of popped out and went basically laterally to the right, sprung out into no man's land around the 7 or 8 yard line, and Jones was the first one seeing it to be able to pounce on it before Mount Healthy could grab it.
Okay.
Third and goal from the 8 yard line. That
Third
puts a
and
damper
goal.
on things. You got 2 plays to punch it in here, though. Here comes the run to Scott. Off right tackle. He's got a seam, and he's
Scores.
in to the end zone. Touchdown, Edgewood Cougars.
All right,
as they
Edgewood.
try to come back and make a game of this here. From 20-0, now it's 20-6, and we'll see if they can get their point after a try.
Great execution there.
Oh.
They seem to have found something running right on the play, these little kind of semi-sweeps.
Yeah, Scott was the left tailback there. They were looking at the fullback's been carrying a lot. That's Crosby. And they gave it to Scott. He went around to the side and went between the tackle and the tight end. Here comes the hold, the snap. It's good. Kick is up, and it is 21-7 with 4:46 remaining in the third quarter of play. We'll be right back after these messages on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
We are back here at Kumler Field with a little Ozzy Osbourne piped into the sound system.
It's a crazy train, baby.
That last drive was so important for Edgewood. Their cheerleaders have some bounce to it. Their student section.
The music's louder than ever.
Music is being pumped up. Student section jumping up and down a little bit. It is Hawaiian night here for the student section.
I'm wondering if this music is bleeding through our broadcast. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out when we listen to it afterwards, right?
It is
Here
really
comes
rocking.
the squib kick. Bounced around.
It's fumbled.
It's loose. It's around the 25-yard line. Who's going to fall on top of it?
Edgewood.
Edgewood has the football. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness is
Andrew
right.
Gray bounces upon the ball. That ball was a squib kick. It went through the first line of Mount Healthy Owls. I think Hodge actually tried to make a stab at it from the second line of Owls. He didn't get it, and then it kind of settled down around the 25-yard line where the scrum bodies tried to fall on it. It bounced 4 more yards, pounced upon by Andrew Gray. The Cougars have the ball just outside the red zone. 1st and 10 Edgewood at the Mount Healthy 21-yard line. And oh, how the tables have turned now.
What a change of events.
Eli Jones still on the field. Handoff to Crosby up the middle. They got a little more time to work with now, Dan.
They
It's
have
only a
tons of
2-score
time.
game.
Tons of time. Keep pounding that ball. That's why they're the coaches, and I'm just the announcer.
Tavion Crosby has found a little something with these fullback dives up the middle, and I'm wondering how they're working against the Mount Healthy defense. Edgewood, as we said, you said it during the pregame, they got a beefy offensive line.
Absolutely.
The line didn't do a whole lot in the first half against Mount Healthy, but you wonder on these power runs if they're going to start wearing them down in the second half.
You wonder if the coach didn't give him a little motivational talk at halftime, kind of blistered him a little.
Rollout,
Oh, here we
naked
go.
bootleg for Jones, and he did not have any blockers out to the left side, and he was tackled by Hodge and by Rad Rothermel. So Mount Healthy not fooled on that. They sent a possible handoff to the fullback that they didn't hand it to. They had Scott trying on the same play they would have run for the touchdown to be able to hand it around the right tackle. Jones kept it, tried to scramble around the left side, and there was nothing out there.
Okay, we have 3rd and 7. I say the running's working. You run 2 straight times, 3rd and 4th down.
You think you go Scott off the right tackle? We got double tight end on the right side of the line now. It looks like they're not even trying to fool Mount Healthy with what's coming.
They're running.
And there is the handoff, and Mount Healthy was ready for it.
but he still
He was
slipped
bottled
through.
up, but Scott slipped through and actually gained about a yard maybe on that. Mount Healthy read that Hodge, again, was in the backfield trying to disrupt it.
Hodge is a beast.
Made him have to tuck it a little bit sooner he wanted to, and he certainly was not able to get the edge on that play, which is where that was designed to go. 4th down, very important play here with 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter of play.
There you go, and a little inside information.
Mount Healthy's assistant's here right next to us.
He's saying watch out for the hard count. Smart man.
Yeah, a hard count would not give him a first down, but it'd make it 4th and 1, and that'd be a lot more manageable
Let's
situation.
see if he does
for
do a
Edgewood.
hard count here.
They're up to the line. Howell goes bootleg, tucks it, passes.
Oh!
Has the fullback, Tavion Crosby, out in the flat. Had he caught that ball, I don't think he gets the first down anyway, Dan.
No, they had Sean Harkness out there, their all-stud senior linebacker, and I think he would have made the tackle short of the play anyway.
Yeah,
the line to gain.
Not enough there. That was spider-wide banana there to the fullback in the flat. First down, Mount Healthy as they survive and dodge that bullet off the onside kick. Really
that was not Joel talking. That was John Gruden in the booth. Spider-wide banana.
Spider-wide banana. There's something about that guy, Dan. I love that guy. Shotgun snap. Handoff goes to Daniels. Isaiah Daniels bounces it outside. He's got a little room, getting a couple blocks from his wide receivers. He's still going.
Nice
Makes
run.
the scrum go all the way across the 30-yard line. Pickup of about, 15 on that play? Maybe 17?
Tackled by a bunch of Cougars.
Geron Kelly, who caught the touchdown pass, has been used more as a downfield blocker in this game than as a wide receiver. He is 6'3", and he was paving the way there for his friend Isaiah Daniels, the junior tailback, 5'9", 220, out of Mount Healthy. They're all out of Mount Healthy,
they're
right?
Flashing, yes, they're flashing a B now.
B.
For the offense.
Yeah, the offensive players are looking over, all the skill players, not really so much the linemen, but the skill players are all looking over at the Mount Healthy sideline. And I think they're actually trying to bleed time down. There's 8 seconds on the play clock now. Now they're lined up, down to 5 seconds on the play clock. Here's the snap to Gaither. Gaither can't quite spin. Now he does spin out. He's broken 3 tackles on this play as he continues to go backwards.
Yes. My goodness.
And finally, Brick Barker brings him down with some help. Jay Daly had the first shot at him and couldn't wrap him up. Carter Smith had the second shot at him, couldn't wrap him up. But each one of those wrap-ups bounced him backwards another 3 yards and then another 3 years beyond that.
Brick Barker, he was in there the whole time. Brick Barker.
Oof.
And I'll tell you, for Mount Healthy, that play was boom, 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 boom.
Wow. Nadavion Gaither ends up losing about 11 yards.
Sorry for that Price is Right reference.
The price was wrong there on that play for Gaither.
Yes.
And Barker made darn good and sure he knew that. He had his owl spayed or neutered on that play.
Oh, my.
Handoff.
Almost a fumble.
Almost a fumble there to Trey Cornist.
Nice run.
He does run it for about 10 yards there. That ball kind of popped up, and he had to almost catch it twice on the handoff before he was able to gain full control. He does gain most of what they lost on the Gaither sack, and it's now going to be 3rd down and 11 for Mount Healthy. We're going to have enough for one more play, it looks like, in this quarter. We got 35 seconds on the game clock and 25 on the play clock as we're counting down. Mount Healthy, give Arvie Crouch and his assistants on the sideline credit. They are already trying everything they can to work on the clock in the third quarter of this game.
Yes, they are.
They're
You're
not,
right.
They're not waiting to see what happens. This will probably get it on the running play. Here's the handoff to number 7, Cornist. He's out over left tackle.
Short of the first down, obviously.
He's going to gain about 4 yards there, and that's going to roll to the end of the third quarter. Mount Healthy has a 20-7 lead. They're sitting on the ball, 4th and long. Edgewood's going to be getting it coming out of the timeout. And we'll be back from Kumler Field right after this break on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week.
Bum, bum, bum. They cut off Neil Diamond.
That's okay.
I wanted to party with Neil.
Short, terrible
Very
punt.
short punt. It's going to take a bit of a Mount Healthy roll. It's going to roll across midfield, and it's going to be down by the Owls at around the 43-yard line of Edgewood. So we're at 11:49 remaining in the fourth quarter of this game.
That was a 22-yard punt, so they were hoping to get better field position off of that, and they were punting with the wind.
Yeah, I will
That's why I
say.
said terrible.
I will say, Edgewood has definitely had the better of the punting game tonight.
Most definitely.
When they've been fortunate enough to trade punts back and forth, but now you can't afford to when you're down by 13 points in the fourth quarter. You really can't afford to trade punts back and forth. Here we go, and another new quarterback, Riley Brown, the lefty, in there. The handoff is to Howell. He's got room around
He's
right
got
tackle.
some room. He's
got
got
some
some
rushing room for a
speed.
first down. Can he break it? He
Oh.
gets out of bounds. Geron Montana just barely held enough of the edge to force him out of bounds. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown, Dan.
Yes,
it is
it
a
would
first
have.
down.
I mean, if he had 2 more yards of sideline, he would have been able to cut it up and score. It was that close.
It was that close. But they're across midfield.
Yes.
They stopped the clock on the play. That's good.
That's
Never
very
too
good.
early to be worried about that when you're down
Never.
by multiple scores.
Never.
And it's 1st and 10 for Edgewood at the Mount Healthy 43-yard line. Riley Brown leads his guys under center. Double wing back. Scott in motion. The handoff goes to Scott. He tries to tuck it up, and he's going to get about 1 yard there before Mount Healthy is able to get the tackle, and that would be
Jair Frierson.
Yes, Jair Frierson
Sorry
on the
about the
stop.
mispronunciation, Jair.
We got it right, man. We got it right. So it's 2nd down and 9 for Edgewood.
So it's kind of a similar play to the last play. They just ran it to the opposite side, used a different back.
Yeah.
But they seem to like to run a little wide.
This is a traditional flex bone formation. You got your fullback behind center, and you got 2 wide backs, and one of them typically goes in motion before the play. Scott's in motion, but they
Straight
hand
up
off
the middle.
to Crosby up the middle instead, and Crosby bings his way for about 2 yards.
Aries Lindsley on the tackle. He had to throw the Bing Crosby reference in there.
Aries, let him call you sweetheart, as they say. It is 3rd down and 7 on the 40-yard line for the Edgewood Cougars. The temperature's starting to go down a little bit, Dan.
It feels nice up here. I like it.
Definitely September in Ohio. It's supposed to creep down around the mid-50s tonight.
Oh, that'll feel like fall, that's for sure.
How about it?
My wife mentioned, stupid winter's going to be here before we know it. I'm like, no. But she is right.
Here's a score for you, Dan.
Yes.
14-0 Talawanda over Harrison at the half.
Wow.
That's the score.
That is
Larry Cox's boys.
They must be pounding the ball like they were last week.
How about it? That run was from Landon Howell, going from left back over to right tackle, and he didn't get a thing. So now it's 4th down and 7 at the 40, and Edgewood pretty much has to go for it from here on out, don't they, Dan?
Absolutely they do. Now, like to see one of those slants. They were very successful with it. If they can get some blocking up there, not let, Aaron Hodge bust through again.
RV Crouch actually just took a second to look at the parking lot behind the press box, take a little moment there to kind of compress his thoughts. He's up here with us, the head coach of Mount Healthy.
There we go.
All right, flexbone formation.
Big play.
Brown takes the snap, lefty throw, and he overthrows his receiver. He had both Max Meyer and Anthony Scott as possible receivers. Meyer was running a post pattern from the left receiver slot, and you had Scott filling out behind him as the wide back, and he basically threw it in between the two of them.
Yeah, I liked it. I would like that if he would have threw to Max Meyer because he seemed open, but he threw it to the second guy trailing, and he just missed him.
Kind of a little bit of no man's land there behind the slant,
split the
ahead of
difference.
ahead of the flat route there, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. And that is where one quarterback, if you're going to be throwing the ball, might help a little bit.
I agree.
1st and 10 for Mount Healthy at their own 40-yard line as they will work on the clock. The Jets sweep. Handoff goes to Cornist. He's going to get about 2 yards on the play as he jet sweep from left to right. Mount Healthy going from the left to the right on your computer screen.
They said Carter Kemp, and I also saw Anthony Scott in there on defense.
Pat Lenahan texted in and asked about what kind of radio network we have. Well, this also includes Monroe and Valley View, where Chris and Joey are. We got 3 votes covering 2 games, and I guess I'm an honorary vote, right?
Yes, you are.
Danny, you could be my biological father.
Yeah, you're a redhead like me.
I look just like you.
Neither one of us have any red hair anymore. We're all skinheads now.
We're working on it. We're losing hair as fast as we can. Handoff up the middle to Isaiah Daniels. He's going to punch it forward for about 3 yards.
The ball.
Ball's loose.
Nice play.
Dirk Allen would say the ball is on the field. Who came up with that for Edgewood, Dan? Did you see?
I'm thinking it was 33. Let's get the name on that. I'm sorry.
That'd be Xander Beacon.
There you go.
He's giving everybody some high fives as he comes off the sideline there.
It was basically a play where they had him stopped and a smart player reached in there, stripped the ball out, and just took off with it. I thought the forward progress had stopped. I'm sure Mount Healthy's probably has a little beef with this play, but they let him have it. Let him have it.
Scoreboard update from Kettering Fairmont. I'll give you that in a second here as Eli Jones back onto the field for Edgewood. Takes the snap. Handoff, double handoff to Howell.
Inside reverse.
Inside reverse, and he's loose, and he's got room. He's headed to the pylon, and he beats Mount Healthy's
touchdown.
Geron Womack to the end zone. And all of a sudden, we got a one-score game here at Kumler Field.
Place is erupting. Nice play.
The student section has to be loving this.
Now, what did you call that play? I'm older than you.
A double handoff.
We call that an inside reverse, okay?
This one was different than the previous ones. They did not involve the fullback Crosby. That was a handoff to the right back Scott, who started going over left tackle and handed it to the left back Landon Howell, who ran it 38 yards into the end zone.
Here's
for the
an important
Cougars.
extra point.
Kick is up. Kick is good.
Very important there. Cuts the lead down to 6. We have a 20-14 game. Mount Healthy ahead.
And we'll be right back on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
We're back at Kumler Field, and the Edgewood Cougars are making a game of this here in the second half. They've cut it down with a 38-yard touchdown run from Landon Howell. It is now 20-14. Mount Healthy with a much more perilous lead. Other scores at the end of the third quarter. Lakota East has scored a touchdown to bring it closer to Mason. Mason's up 21-14. That's on WMOH. Up in Kettering Fairmont, Alter, Brian Shane with a 60-yard touchdown run.
Wow.
Extra point was blocked, and so Alter leads Baden 9-7 in that GCL co-ed battle.
That is a war.
Back here, Jonathan Testis kicks a squibber along the ground. This will be fielded and kneeled. No chances with that one, says Christian Jackson. He catches the ball and goes immediately to one knee.
And there wasn't an Edgewood player within 5 yards of him. He wanted to make sure I'm going to get this square.
Our offense is getting the ball this time.
That's
we are not going to have the same thing happen that happened on the last kickoff.
It was an emphatic kneel down. I mean, he just flopped.
Yes, he did. Over at Monroe at the Hornets' Nest, Chris and Joey. Valley View has taken a little bigger lead now. They're up 31-7 over Monroe, who put up a very spirited fight through most of the first half of that game. That game has gone to the fourth quarter now. Not a running clock quite yet. So here comes Mount Healthy. You can't be too conservative.
No.
Gaither, the quarterback, keeps it, runs with it. faked about 2 different handoffs there before he tucked it up and ran it off left tackle. He runs out of bounds. That's the only thing RV Crouch can probably criticize him for, is running out of bounds. And he gains about 5 yards on the play, but it's going to stop the clock at 8:18.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always got to be worried about clock management, Dan?
I always think of it. I'm kind of obsessed with it. but you know, it's important.
It really does matter.
It does.
It makes the difference. That's 40 seconds that you were not able to chew off the clock there on that play because of ring of bounds. Handoff around the backside to Trey Cornist, and we're going to have a flag here.
Got a holding call.
He got enough for the first down on the play, but this is not going to stand. Cornist was lined up in the slot there, and they actually had him go all the way behind the shotgun quarterback there.
Now, Lane Howell on Edgewood, he was pointing back, saying he was held.
And that is indeed going to be the call. The flag was thrown at the 32-yard line, which was about the line of scrimmage. So we're going to go from 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 15 now for the Owls. And again, it's one of these things. You are built on the running game out of the spread formation.
That's right.
You do want to work the clock, but you don't want to end up punting the ball back. Your punting game has not been good all night long.
Penalty stops the clock, which doesn't help.
And if you give Edgewood the ball back, their offensive line is starting to gel a little bit.
They ate their Wheaties at halftime.
You can see a few more holes being formed and gashes being taken in the Mount Healthy defense. Mount Healthy is leading, but I'd hardly say momentum is on their side right now.
Not at all. It's 2nd 14 here. I would like to see Mount Healthy just throw the ball, not just concede the run here.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, we got a couple 4 wide receivers, and there is a throw out to the side. Very safe throw.
Yes, it was.
To Trey Cornist there, and he gets about 5 yards as a run after catch there, maybe about 6 or 7.
He was kind of set out in the slot, and it was just a quick throw, nothing fancy, very safe play. Almost like a
long handoff, right?
A long handoff. You read my mind. Thank you.
It's exactly right. Yeah. It's exactly right. That's the way to describe it there.
Yes.
3rd and manageable. It's about 3rd and 8. 3rd and 9? Yeah. We'll see. Scoreboard says 3rd and 14. That's not right.
No.
All right. 3rd and 8 here for the Fighting Owls of RV Crouch.
And we're back to the B play. They
That's
have
right.
one card over there.
B
on
and
one
S.
side
It
is
flips.
B and one is S.
So we're not sure what that means. It's not a play call necessarily, I wouldn't think.
It might be a ploy. It might be a BS.
We have a referee stopping play, having to force a Cougar out. That'd be Hayes Gambrell that had to come out of the game there for Edgewood. Probably a uniform issue. So Xavier Sankey is going to come in and cover. It looks like Christian Jackson, the wide receiver of Mount Healthy. Maybe a pick on that guy if he's cold coming off the bench.
Very smart. Very smart.
We'll see what happens here. You got Anthony Scott also playing a little safety linebacker there. He's got to come out and cover the receiver, Aaron Hodge. You got Hodge and Jackson both out there on the right side of their formation. Timeout taken by Mount Healthy. So we'll come right back here in a minute. It's 6 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Owls lead the Cougars 20-14.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.
Back here at Kumler Field, 20-14 Mount Healthy. For any new Miami fans listening, and I know your game is not until tomorrow night, here's a score that might be of at least intrigue to you. The end of the 3rd quarter, Marion Local leads New Bremen 14-13. Tough game in the Midwest Athletic Conference there. New Bremen was the team that knocked out New Miami as the 1 seed last year.
Yeah,
and
they were the 8.
They were the 8. They played Marion Local all the way in the regional finals.
Them.
They
yeah,
did.
It was
did.
Amazing. But
So
you called that, I think.
Close game. Marion Local and New Bremen up north tonight. Here's a designed run for the quarterback, Nadavion Gaither, and he's going to actually have enough yardage to punch this all the way past the first down marker. 1st and 10, Mount Healthy.
That was huge for Mount Healthy.
And a collective hush, I guess, comes over the student section of Kumler Field that was really, really pumped to get the ball back, and now they're not going to, at least not right away.
You would think a 3rd and 7, just a little quarterback run, and they converted it. It's amazing.
Now, Edgewood, the students have at least been seeing each other at school. We talked to a couple of their cheerleaders before the game. The A through K kids were going Monday to Tuesday, and the L through Z last names are going Thursday to Friday. Here's the snap. And again, Gaither's going to keep it up the middle. He's got some room.
Gaither's rambling.
Big gain. First down, about 15 yards. Tackle made by Jay Daly for the Edgewood Cougars. And Mount Healthy is on the move all of a sudden. It may be easier, forget the clock, just to punch the ball in the end zone and say we're up by 2 scores again, Dan.
Yeah, I agree. But now they're kind of standing there and letting clock run. So they're kind of trying to do both, which is the best of both worlds.
That's right. Hannah Montana, right? You get the best of both worlds?
I'm too old for that reference.
Handoff off tackle, Isaiah Daniels. He's got another 15 yards or so. And he fumbles the football at the end of his run.
Yes, he did.
And let's see who comes up with
There's
it at the pile on the very left sideline. Referees trying to unpile bodies. Both teams kind of pointing their own way. Edgewood's got the football.
It was a strip, another strip.
Right at the end, Isaiah Daniels had about 17 yards, and as he's trying to go down in bounds, he gets stripped. And who's holding the football for Edgewood? Number 85, Ashton Arvin, the tight end, playing, I guess, some defensive linebacker there. Ran up and caught him all the way 17 yards downfield. And this game won't die. Dan?
I'm telling you, Mount Healthy down to the 24-yard line. I mean, right there, ready to close this game out. And Edgewood has the ball with a chance to take the lead. 5 minutes, 38 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter.
Here come the Cougars, and it looks like, do they have Eli Jones in a quarterback? He has been the more successful of the
Eli's
two.
coming, yes.
Eli's coming for the Cougars. And jumping into the neutral zone,
there
whistle blows.
False.
That's Namar McCallie jumping in too early on the defensive line
Eli's
for the Mount
coming
Healthy
with
Owls.
the cadence.
The hard snap again. This is the 3rd time they've gotten Mount Healthy to jump tonight. 1st and 5 now for the Cougars. They've got 5:38, Dan, as you said, left to get it down there. So Edgewood, yeah, their kids have been going to school. Half the kids, the last names A through K, went Monday, Tuesday. They had, like Carroll did, a Wednesday deep clean, L through Z, Thursday and Friday. And this week, they said, was the first week that they sent everybody back for all 5 days.
Yeah.
So those kids are so excited to see each other.
Absolutely. School is –
and
we got a false start now. It's getting kind
of – Yeah, there was the right tackle or the right tight end over there for Edgewood. Couldn't tell exactly who that was. But they're going to give back the 5 yards they just gained on the penalty.
So it's just basically a do-over.
It's a do-over. First and
right.
10 at the 25, as we said earlier. Mount Healthy is attending classes not in person, virtually.
Yeah.
We talked to Whitney, their trainer, a sophomore girl over there from Mount Healthy, and she basically said, her quote was, "There's no motivation at home." They miss their social time. They are still on the getting to know each other stage doing the online icebreakers. Handoff up the middle. This is to Crosby, the fullback. He's going to gain about a yard before he is stopped by the Mount Healthy defensive line.
That was Aries Lindsay again.
Aries Lindsay.
My defensive player of the game for sure.
Quintus Aries, right?
That's
a little
correct.
Ben-Hur reference there. Down Aries, up Mars for the Mount Healthy defensive line. 2nd down and 9 for the Cougars.
5 minutes to go.
They've got the time they need. They can't really dilly-dally with 75 yards still to go, but they have the time they need. They might even be able to get it back if they don't score on this drive. They got all 3 timeouts. Here's the throw to the slant.
Beautiful
to Meyer.
slant.
He's going to burst it across midfield. And a touchdown-saving tackle for Irel Casey. Max Meyer, the left wide receiver, on a post slant pattern. And he was hit by Eli Jones perfectly in stride, shook off his man, took it about 30 yards.
29 to be exact.
How about it? 1st and 10, Edgewood at the Mount Healthy 45. We are down to 4.5 minutes. The clock is running. It did stop for the first down for the placing of the beanbag and the setting of the chains.
That's right.
And now it runs. Eli Jones. They send Scott in motion. The handoff goes to Scott over the left tackle. He's got about 10 or 12 more yards as he's cutting through the defense. Edgewood's offensive line creating some good holes in the waning moments of this ball game. We're down to 4:18 left. The clock is paused, and now it resumes.
Arel Casey with the tackle for Mount Healthy, and I'm telling you, the corners are doing most of the tackling, and that does not bode well for Mount Healthy right now.
That really does not. It was the linebackers earlier in the game doing
Yes,
most of the
was.
tackling, and now it's the corners. Flexbone formation. Whistle
Timeout.
blows. Timeout, Edgewood Cougars. We'll take it with them. 4:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. Mount Healthy with a 6-point lead. Edgewood on the move on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports, results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Early in the fourth quarter, Baton Rams moving the ball. They're down 9-7 to Alter. They're at Alter's 28-yard line, and we're seeing on Twitter what's going to happen there. Lakota West leading Big Blue 28-7 right now at the end of the third. But we are here at what might be the game of the night in Butler County. Mount Healthy clinging to a 20-14 lead over the Edgewood Cougars. We're at 4:01 remaining. Edgewood, I believe, still has 2 timeouts left. Dan?
That is correct.
They're not keeping it on the scoreboard.
No, they're not. They've had 3 all day.
All day long, yep. So we have flexbone formation. Scott in motion from left. He's going to throw it. A halfback pass.
He's
Look,
wide
he's got him open. He hits
Got
him.
it.
Oh, my goodness. Touchdown, Edgewood.
Play.
They drew that up in the timeout, Dan. There's no doubt about that. They were there in the field turf drawing that up there.
The halfback pass, a classic.
Oh, my goodness. They had the wide back left was Scott, Anthony Scott. He takes the handoff. You could tell he's shaped up to throw it. Max Meyer was the wide receiver lined up on the right end of the line, and he just snuck his way back behind the Mount Healthy defense, and nobody covered him.
Big extra point. It is 2020. This is huge. Let's see if he can convert.
3:53 remaining. The kicker, Jonathan Testis, for the
snap.
lead. It's up. It is
It's
good.
The fans are roaring.
You can hear that from the Edgewood fans. Down 20-0. They have climbed the mountain and come all the way back.
I'll tell you, that halfback pass, the wide receiver, he was waiting and waiting and waiting for that ball.
That ball couldn't have come down fast enough for Max Meyer.
it was a nightmare if he would have dropped that. It would have been a nightmare. He was so open.
You're hoping you don't lose it in the lights or whatever. And a pretty good throw by Anthony Scott. Remember, Anthony Scott was their starting quarterback last season.
You know what, that play has probably been in the back of their book all night long, and they said, let's do it here.
They waited for the opportune moment,
the
as Captain Sparrow would say.
whatever they're going to call it.
Halfback pass. And now all of a sudden, Mount Healthy's got a little different offensive strategy when they're going to get the ball back here. And I might advise the first strategy is stop fumbling the football.
Yes, well,
if they would not have fumbled it,
so you don't fumble
if they would not have been fumbling the football, they'd still be up by 2 scores in this game. I have
easily.
no doubt.
Mount Healthy has hurt themselves, and Edgewood's taken advantage of it.
Yes,
That's all
they
you can
have.
ask your players to do.
Testis to kick off, squibs it along the middle, bounces off an Owl,
Okay,
then finally
here we go.
picked up by the same Owl, who's going to run it upfield. Got about 3 or 4 Cougars on top of him, and a
and a
flag
late
comes
flag.
in behind the play, very late indeed. The Mount Healthy Owl who fielded that ball looks like it was number 6, Christian Jackson.
We're going to have a hold here on Mount Healthy,
Yeah,
so that's going to give them terrible field position.
They're going to mark it off not from where the tackle was, but from where the flag was. The flag was thrown at the 24-yard line. That means Mount Healthy, with 3:45 remaining, they got time, is going to be starting this drive at their own 14-yard line.
Now, this is where I wish we could have talked to the coach a little bit before the game to ask him things like, how's your field goal kicker? Because they're down by 1. You got to think of that.
Well, when Arvey did the 2-point conversion against Little Miami last year, he called into WMOH, and Steve Vaughn actually asked him that question. And he basically said, we were the second team on offense in the overtime period. I was not going to put that on my kicker.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's would hold true here or not, but I would imagine if it's close, Arvey probably would err on the side of not having to trust his kicker. The handoff goes up the middle to Isaiah Daniels. Edgewood's defensive line playing a lot more inspired football here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be no gain, 2nd and 10 for the Owls.
Ashton Arvin on a tackle.
This has been quite the change of.
It's like two halves.
Yeah.
They flip-flopped.
I mean, they did. Basically, after the very first drive where Mount Healthy scored the touchdown to start the third quarter, Edgewood has controlled the game and whittled their way back in piece by piece. Pass out to Hodges. Hodge tackled
stuffed.
for a gain of about 5, maybe 4 yards. He did get tackled out of bounds.
Yes, he did. 3:03 to go in the game.
And it's going to be third down.
Yeah, what, 3rd and 5?
A very critical third down, and given the way that Mount Healthy's defense has struggled to stop Edgewood's running game,
I go for it.
I
know what
almost
you're
wonder
saying.
this is 4-down territory,
And
even though you're at your own 20-yard line. 3rd and 4 from your own 20
The crowd is roaring.
for the Owls.
Everyone knows this is a big play.
It's a socially distanced and light capacity crowd, but they are noisy.
They are very
Gaither
noisy.
going to keep it. Quarterback run. Whittling his way down. It's going to be close to the first down marker. Edgewood thinks he's short. They're celebrating like he's short, and they're wrong. That's going to be a first down.
They are. Yes.
The referees were right on top of that and very clear it was going to be a first down.
I'll tell you, it's the chain gang has not come out in this entire game. When it's close, they just say first down.
They've just been kind of
remarkable.
estimating it. Yep. So we're at the 24.5-yard line, just shy of the 25 now, and it's going to be first down. Clock runs. We're down to 2:38 and counting remaining as the Mount Healthy Owls look over at their sideline for their play call, their B or their S or whatever else that they are looking for.
Joel, very deliberate.
Yeah, they're taking their time. We're down below 2.5 now. Here's the snap. Quick pass to Hodge on the outside. He catches it, and it's lose a yard. That's not going to be what they want.
No.
Clock stoppage. Whistle is blown. Referees are asking to stop the clock, and it is because Mount Healthy has taken a timeout. We will take it with them. 2:16 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Edgewood Cougars lead Mount Healthy 21-20.
Performance Toyota Superstore invites you to save. Money, that is. Overstocked pre-owned vehicles have forced us to wholesale direct to you. Our loss is your gain. Everything is on sale. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Every deal will be made. Keep your stimulus check and just show up and drive. If you want it, we've got it. Every style, every color, every model. It's used cars for everyone. Only at your Performance Toyota Superstore. Go to performancetoyotastore.com.
Joey is a Miami Dolphin fan. You wonder why that is? I don't know. Why am I a Detroit Lions fan? We just don't know. But I'm wondering how Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa, right?
I said his name great there, didn't I?
You did.
I wonder how he's going to do, if they're going to give him the chance. You know, he's had his injury problems. I'll have to talk to Joey about that.
Let's see what the Dizzle thinks, right?
Yeah, he is pumped up, I'm sure.
In the third quarter, Ross is up over Northwest 34-23. Here we're down to 2:16 left. It's 21-20. Edgewood Cougars. Mount Healthy with the ball. 2nd and long. Gaither draws ball. He's looking long. He throws it over the middle, and he had an open receiver, Sean Harkness, and he just underthrew him. Harkness was about 5 yards beyond the chains. Sorry, that was not Harkness. That was Geron Kelly, the big guy. He was open. Coverage had dropped way back behind him to make sure he couldn't get over the top, but he short-hopped him, and it's going to be 3rd down and 11 for the Mount Healthy Owls.
And they had a player, Christian Jackson. He was 50 yards down the field. I don't know if the quarterback could have reached him, but he was throwing a fist in the air. He was like, I'm open, I'm open. So let's see if they try and throw it deep. Number 6.
Looks like Alters kicked a field goal. They're up 12-7 over Baden right now in the fourth quarter as that game runs deep.
3rd and 11, Joel.
In Kettering Fairmont. 3rd and 11 for the Owls. Snap.
Screen
pass. Isaiah Daniels, and Edgewood snuffed it out.
Beautiful.
Absolutely not, says number 33, Xander Began. And it's going to be 4th down. We're less than 2 minutes left. Mount Healthy,
They're going for it.
They've used at least one timeout, if not 2.
Yeah, they're not keeping that up on the scoreboard, so we're just guessing that.
We'll have to keep an eye on that next week when we're calling our game. Make sure we go ahead and mark it on our own sheet. We're down below a minute and 40 left. It's 4th down and 10.
This is the ball game for all intents and purposes.
It pretty
here.
much is. Yep.
At the end of the game, there is to be no one to go on the field.
It looks like the PA announcer's already trying to get all the protocol for COVID after the game.
They're
Gator's
running
going to
it.
run it. He's got a block.
He
breaks
breaks
it,
it.
and he gets a first down and
Wow.
gets out of bounds. I didn't think he was ever going to make that, Dan.
I'll tell you, I felt a little sorry for Mount Healthy there. They're trying to run the playoff, and the announcer is saying, don't run out on the field
After the game.
and they're like, be quiet. They
Let
can't-
us run our play. This is what
Yes.
the game all results upon, right?
It was a great effort there by Gaither. He was stopped about 2 yards short of the first down, busted through, kept going, got 5 additional yards, got the first down.
And got out of bounds on top of all of that. Designed quarterback power.
They're at the 37-yard line, everyone, with a minute and 18 to go. They got, well, it depends on if they're going to kick the field goal or not.
We don't know what they're going to do with their kicking game. Gaither, pass outside to number 9, Geron Kelly. He catches it. The
Out of
defensive
bounds.
back gave him a lot of room on that. It was a very easy turn and catch for Kelly. Ran straight out of bounds, gets about 7 yards on the play, and honestly, Mount Healthy would love to take that for the rest of this drive.
Yeah,
If Edgewood gives it to him.
they can march on that all day long. If they snap it quick, they almost got Edgewood.
Carter Smith was trying to get off the
12
field
men
there.
on the field there.
Quarterback under center. And now he's starting to drift back a little bit, maybe more into the shotgun as they're looking over. The clock is not running at a minute and 12 because
They were out
Geron
of
Kelly
bounds.
got out of bounds on the last catch. So they're looking over at the sideline. We're down below 10 on the play clock, a minute 12 on the game clock. 4 wide receivers and a running back. Are they going to get this off in time? They are. Gaither, design quarterback run up the middle. He's not going to get it, which means the clock is going to continue to run.
It's 3rd and 3, maybe 2.
And we're below a minute left to go on the Kumler Field scoreboard clock. And they're hurrying up now to the line. They can't dilly-dally too long. They got to move.
Roaring. Here we go.
Snap. Throw. Looking for Kelly.
Incomplete.
Outside of his outstretched arms, looking on the out pattern to the left side of the formation. It's going to be 4th and 2. Joel Sackenheim, Danny Vogt. Glad to have you with us here at Kumler Field.
Alco presents You Make the Call here, Joel. That's an old reference you might not know.
I make the call. I'll tell you what I call. Quarterback power, get out of bounds, or spike the football if you get the first down.
I run the quarterback also. I run him left because that's the short end of the field.
Yep.
He can get out of bounds, you can get the first down, and you
Yep.
can spike it. Let's see if he runs left.
Everything hinges on this play. They don't have enough timeouts to stop Edgewood if Edgewood gets the ball back. 45 seconds left to go.
Here he
Shotgun formation. Here comes the snap. He fakes the Statue of Liberty. He runs it. He is stopped.
He is stopped.
The quarterback power to the right. And that tackle was made by big old number 51, Caden Flick, defensive lineman, junior for the Edgewood Cougars. And that's going to be all she wrote, Dan.
Edgewood, I give him all the respect in the world. Come out of halftime, they were beaten badly in the first half. They score 3 touchdowns in the second half. They find their offense. They run the ball. They throw great slants when they have to.
They were able to throw it when they needed to. That really helped
They're
them.
in the victory formation right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a kneel-down play. We're down below 40 seconds. Mount Healthy does not have all 3 timeouts, so this is going to be it. RV Crouch probably won't make them wait and do it anymore.
Wow.
And the clock will drift down on a very, very hard-fought 21-20 victory for the Edgewood Cougars, who were down 20-0 1 minute into the third quarter. Mount Healthy was up 13-0 at the half.
I mean, I was saying they had went 6 consecutive quarters without scoring.
That's
which
correct,
was correct.
which was a true statement.
And then they score 3 touchdowns in the second half and win the game. Here we go. We're down to 5, 4.
They're not going to even need to
3,
snap it at all.
and
There's no
that's the
need.
ball game.
There's no need. We're going to see if they do anything as far as COVID goes, as far as the shaking hands or whatever.
Yeah, let's see if they take their helmets off and acknowledge each other. Edgewood's running into the end zone. They are deliriously happy.
I don't know that there's
Boy,
going to be
Mount
anything at
Healthy-
all.
Mount Healthy just looks like they lost their dog.
Yeah, their
They're
dog just died or
down.
something,
Oh,
right?
It's awful.
Oh, my goodness. That's going to be a sick, sick feeling for Coach Crouch.
Both teams just played great tonight.
One thing I know, Arvie Crouch, Mount Healthy coach, is a stand-up guy. He's going to call into WMOH tonight and talk all about this game, and we'll get some answers.
Are you going to be on MOH to
I'll
discuss it?
be calling this as well over at MOH as far as the post-game show and whatever. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back to Kumler Field and wrap this up here. 21-20, Edgewood over the Mount Healthy Owls.
Hey, this is Joey Vogt for The Report. One thing we strive to do here at The Report is recognize the local high school student athletes and their accomplishments to the best of our abilities, which is the reason why we partnered up with Performance Toyota and Rick's Tavern to crown a Performer of the Week. We choose a student athlete from each of our coverage area schools from any sports and let family, friends, and your school vote in the Report's Performer of the Week poll on our website. Tell us who you think should be in our Performer of the Week poll, and most importantly, enjoy the rest of the broadcast.
We're back here at Kumler Field, and we've seen a 3-touchdown deficit come back from and erased, and the Edgewood Cougars get one of those season-defining wins, 21-20 over the Mount Healthy Owls. Dan?
Yeah, I was watching Jonathan Testis. He's the kicker. He's a senior. You know, the senior year has got to be rough on these kids.
My goodness.
Playing 6 games, not knowing if you're going to play, who you're going to play week to week. But it was a great moment. He ran to the sidelines. He dropped to his knees. He took his helmet off. He kissed his helmet. And 2 of his players, you know, he's a little kicker. He's a little guy. He's 6 foot. Well, he's tall, but he's 150 pounds, so he's a thin guy. 2 of his bigger linemen came up, grabbed each one of his shoulders, picked him right up off the ground. It was a great moment.
How about it? How about it? Other scores, we actually had a Landon Vitterick touchdown pass up at Kettering Fairmont. The Baden Rams have taken a 14-12 lead over Alter. Interesting for Nick Yorty, who was a Mount Healthy assistant under Coach Arvie Crouch before he took the Baden job. He decided to kick the extra point instead of go for 2. So they're up by 2 with 3:55 left to go in the fourth quarter up at Roush Stadium up there at Kettering Fairmont. Isn't Twitter amazing? We can see the highlight right here.
And you know what?
Throw from Landon Vitterick.
That kicking the extra point to only be up by 2, I don't know what card he's reading there. I'm not being critical, but
there's not a lot of time left, and if Alter gets into field goal range, the Alter Knights could break the Baden Rams' hearts again tonight. We'll see how that goes. But here, talking about breaking people's hearts.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Mount Healthy was up 7-0 through most of the first half of this game. They took a drive deep into the second quarter. They ended up in the red zone really low on time without a lot of with no timeouts left. They were able to catch a touchdown pass to Geron Kelly on a lob jump ball in the corner of the end zone, the left corner of the end zone.
Right.
And that put them up 13-0 at halftime, getting the ball in the third quarter. They come out in the third quarter. I don't know what was told Edgewood, but they came out flat on the first couple of defensive plays in the third quarter, resulting in a very long touchdown run for the Mount Healthy Owls. They were up 20-0, and from that point in time, it seems to me, Dan, that Edgewood's line play, maybe they were the better conditioned team.
That could be it. Someone did tell them or read the stats, strip the ball on the tackles because they were doing it. They got some squib kicks on the kickoffs.
Yeah.
You know, the turnovers were killing.
Mount Healthy had a few different self-inflicted wounds. Yeah, 3 times they jumped off sides in the neutral zone, but that was really the least of their concerns. He did have a few blocks in the backs on runs that would have otherwise been first downs, but 2 key fumbles that gave Edgewood the ball back, as well as the one onside kick. And when they look at that game film and they see that this was a game that they had, it was there in the bag, and they let it go, and give the Edgewood Cougars credit. They forced a couple of those fumbles. Those were very active strips on the Cougars' defense.
It depends on what perspective. You could say Mount Healthy blew it, or you could say Edgewood wanted it more, but either way, Edgewood comes out with a huge victory.
They made the plays they needed to make. You had the very long slant pass play that went across midfield. You had the halfback pass from Anthony Scott to Max Meyer. That was the game winner, as it turned out to be. Coming out of a timeout, they took the timeout down 20-14. Must have drawn that on the field turf. Came out and ran a beautiful 38-yard running back, halfback pass play with the running back who was the quarterback last year.
That's why it was so effective.
That's why it was so effective for Anthony Scott. A little bit of guile, a little bit of guts and determination, and the Edgewood Cougars improved to 1-1 on this young season. They continue SWAC play next week at Edgewood. Stays here at Kumler Field. 4 of their 6 games are at Kumler this year. They are home next week against the Northwest Knights, who have been hanging with Ross a little bit tonight. Ross was up by 11 points. They've had a healthy margin throughout most of the evening, but Northwest has been a little feistier, I think, than Ross expected. Edgewood's going to have them coming in here next week. As far as the Mount Healthy Owls are concerned, RV Crouch, the road trip continues.
Yeah,
5 out of 7 games on the road this year.
On the road
again. And they're going to be going to Harrison, who was down 14-0 to the upstart Larry Cox Talawanda Brave tonight. Talawanda, they beat Carroll 26-6 last week. We saw that game in person. Going out to Harrison. And taking out a team that was a home team in the playoffs last year. And we'll see. I have not seen any scoreboard updates beyond halftime. So Harrison, it's entirely possible, could have turned that around in the second half.
Props to Coach
I don't
Cox.
know, but Coach
Good
Cox has got his boys playing, right?
He's a good little ball boy. St. Anne's boy.
So Edgewood goes to 1-1. The Mount Healthy Owls drop to 0-2. They've lost to Lawrenceburg 14-7 and now to Edgewood 21-20. They've lost 2 games by a grand total of 8 points. RV Crouch has got to know for his boys, they've been close. They just got to be able to close it out.
That's right.
So that's all she wrote here from Kumler Field in Week 2. And assuming everybody stays healthy and we stay free of COVID, we'll have Week 3 action for you next week. I think Chris is probably going to end up sending us to Ross and Talawanda up there in Oxford. For Danny Vogt, this is Joel Sackenheim here at Kumler. 21-20, Edgewood Cougars. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
We thank you for listening to a live broadcast on the Butler County High School Sports Report's YouTube channel. We encourage you to check out our website at www.bchssreport.com for all your local prep sports results, stories, and student-athlete features. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Never pay more when you shop Route 4. Performance Toyota.